Thank you. Good afternoon, California. Welcome. And thank you for tuning into the California Citizens Redistricting Commission Communities of Interest Input Meeting. I'm Commissioner Turner, and I will be co-chairing today's meeting with Commissioner Vasquez. Today, we are offering one language line in the following language, Spanish, so language speakers can listen to the meeting in their native language. Could I please have our interpreter, Joanna, provide our call-in numbers? Can I have the Spanish interpreter read the Spanish language line instructions, please?
Yes, hi, Commissioner. This is Margarita, Spanish interpreter. I will read the language line instructions in Spanish.
Beautiful.
Para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar la reunión en español, marquen el número de teléfono 888-566-1377 para poder escuchar la reunión en español y ingresen el número de identificación para la reunión, que es el 389-1010. De nuevo, el número de teléfono es el 888-566-1377 e ingresen el número de identificación para la reunión, que es el 389-1010 para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar esta reunión en español. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Margarita. Thank you. And at this point, before we begin, I'm going to go actually to Robbie for roll call. So, Mr. Singh, if you take roll call, please.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Vasquez.
Here.
Commissioner Yee.
Here.
Commissioner Ahmad.
Here.
Commissioner Akutagawa.
Here.
Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Fernandez.
Presente.
Commissioner Foranshari.
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Here.
Commissioner Lamons. Commissioner Sadwani. Commissioner Sanai.
Here.
Commissioner Toledo.
Here.
Commissioner Taylor.
I am here.
And Commissioner Turner.
Here.
Roll call is complete, Chair.
Commissioner Anderson is here.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. We hear you. Beautiful, and thank you, Robbie. So before we begin, we want to acknowledge all those who are being impacted by the Caldor-Dixie Monument and McFarland fires and all the other wildfires that are burning right now in California. Please know that we are thinking of you, of your families, and your communities. We understand that you may or may not be able to participate today, but we encourage you to do so later. Your voice and the voice of all Californians, they're important to ensure fair and representative maps. So I'll start by sharing a little bit about the commission. Every 10 years after the federal government publishes updated census information, California must redraw the boundaries of its congressional, state senate, state assembly, and state board of equalization districts so that the districts correctly reflect the state's population. In 2008, California voters authorized the creation of the commission when they passed the Voters First Act. It authorized the commission to draw the new district lines for state senate, state assembly, and state board of equalization districts. In 2010, the Congressional Voters First Act added the responsibility of drawing congressional districts to the commission. The 14-member commission were made up of 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 not affiliated with either of those 2 parties. The commission must draw the district lines in conformity with strict nonpartisan rules designed to create districts of relatively equal population that will provide fair representation for all Californians. The census redistricting data was released the week of August 9th. When the official California redistricting database is available in late September, the Commission begins drawing maps using 6 line drawing criteria as outlined in the California Constitution. One of these is minimizing the division of cities, counties, neighborhoods, and communities of interest to the extent possible. Now, we can obtain the city and county information from those jurisdictions, but we need the neighborhood and communities of interest information from Californians directly. That's why we have launched these communities of interest input sessions to get that valuable information directly from you. We encourage all Californians to participate in this process. Now, if you'd rather submit your community of interest input over the internet, you can do so from our website or by visiting drawmycaliforniacommunity.org. That's drawmycacommunity.org. Skip the line, go online. Now, I'm going to call on all commissioners to introduce themselves and to say hello. We're a lively bunch full of fun. And so I know you'll want to hear from each and every one of them. So to see the biographies for all 14 commissioners, for additional information or to sign up for our emails, just visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. We're going to start today with my co-chair, the lovely and talented Miss Commissioner Vasquez. Please.
Good afternoon, California, and especially the Central Valley. So excited to hear your community input today. I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, California. I was born and raised in San Bernardino County, and my father's family hails from the Central Valley, Shafter, California, to be specific. So I have ties all across Southern and Central California. Very much looking forward to hearing from you all today. Thank you.
Commissioner Ahmad.
Thank you, Chair, and welcome everyone to another exciting Community of Interest Input meeting. I look forward to hearing from you all in the Central Valley and surrounding areas, and anyone else across California who may want to call in.
Thank you. Commissioner Kutagawa.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. I do have to say that I enjoy hearing everyone's inputs. We're looking forward to hearing what everyone in the Central Valley is going to be sharing with us. Each time we have a meeting, it's something different. And for me, coming from Southern California, specifically Orange County, it is something that is enjoyable to hear and really helping, I think, all of us to really understand better our fellow Californians. So we look forward to hearing from you all.
Thank you. Commissioner Anderson.
Good afternoon, California, and specifically all those people who will be calling in today from the Central Valley. I'm coming to you from Berkeley, California, a little east and north of you, some of you. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about your communities and what makes them very special. And of course, to any other Californians who are calling in today, not from the area. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fernandez.
Buenas tardes, California. Soy Alicia Fernández del Condado de Yolo. Estoy al norte del central de California y muchas gracias por participar en nuestras juntas. Cada vez aprendo más de sus comunidades. Good afternoon, California. I'm Alicia Fernández from Yolo County, north of Central Valley. I'm very excited to continue to hear about all your communities. And I'm thinking my community is probably very similar to quite a few of the communities in Central Valley. So thank you for participating. And if you're just listening in, we're hoping you'll be motivated to call in. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fornishari.
Good afternoon, California and the San Joaquin Valley. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I've got a beautiful picture back here of the Central Valley where I live in Tracy, up in San Joaquin County. Looking forward to hearing what's important to you all, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my fellow San Joaquin Central Valley Commissioner. Let's see, Commissioner Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm joining today's meeting from my home in Morongo Valley, which is a Joshua Tree Gateway community in the desert of southern San Bernardino County. Before that, I lived for 15 years in Palm Springs. Very much looking forward to hearing what makes your community special to you. So thank you again.
And thank you, Commissioner Kennedy. Commissioner Lamont.
Good afternoon, California. I'm Commissioner Lamont, and I'm coming to you from Southern California. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you about your communities of interest. As I've been saying, this has been a really wonderful experience hearing from the various communities across the state. And I remain excited to hear the new information that we get each day. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Commissioner Sadwani.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Sadwani. I am joining you today from Los Angeles County. While I have never lived in the Central Valley, I've always felt an affinity for it. I'm actually from a rural area originally where I grew up in Western New York State. So, of course, somewhat different, but looking forward to hearing more about your communities of interest today. Thanks so much.
Commissioner Sinai.
Gracias, Chair. Buenas tardes a todos. Gracias por participar hoy día. Estamos muy ansiosos para escuchar todo lo que tienen que enseñarnos hoy. Les sirvo desde San Diego, de Patricia Sinai. Hello, everybody. Thank you for participating today. We're really excited to hear everything you have to share with us today. I serve you from San Diego.
Thank you. Commissioner Taylor.
Good afternoon, California. Excuse me as I try to save bandwidth when I am not speaking. I look forward to everyone's public input. It's needed. It's important. I join you today from LA County, from the city of Altadena, unincorporated Altadena at the foothills of the San Gabriel Valley. So I value your testimony, look forward to it, and thank you very much.
Commissioner Toledo.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Pedro Toledo, and I'm coming to you from Petaluma, California, in Sonoma County, up in the wine country. I'm looking forward to hearing all about your communities of interest and what makes you unique. I'm hoping to have a wonderful afternoon and evening with you, learning all about your individual diverse communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Yee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Russell Yee. I'm here in my hometown of Oakland, California. Looking forward to hearing from the Central Valley and the other parts of the state. I once had a roommate whose family, they were wheat farmers in Kansas. And he told me about traveling through the California Central Valley one time, and it just blew his mind. He said, it's like a gigantic vegetable patch. Which it is. You guys feed the state and the nation and in the world. And so I'm sure I've eaten a lot of your produce. I know at the same time you're undergoing your share of our water crisis, and I'm sure that's on your mind. So I'd love to hear about your concerns about that or anything else about your communities of interest today.
Thank you, Commissioner Yee. And myself, I'm Commissioner Trina Turner, and I am coming to you from my home in Stockton. I am not a native, but I've been a transplant from the Bay Area, but I've been in the Central Valley now for 26 years. So I do claim it as my home. And I just absolutely love the San Joaquin Central Valley. And I am super stoked when I saw all of the names that have signed up to participate and share your communities of interest with us. I can't wait to hear. So no matter where you're calling in from today, we're like tuned in, ready to hear you describe what's important for you. So with that, I just want to tell you a couple of more things before we get started. I do want you to know that we are active on social media. So even as you're listening in, please share on social media, and please also follow the California Citizens Redistricting Commission on social media. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at We Draw the Lines CA. We Draw the Lines CA for California. And then following us on social media, it's another way to get useful information about redistricting and updates from the California Commission. So before we continue, could I please have our interpreters provide our language line numbers one more time as we get ready to roll here? And I have the Spanish interpreter read the Spanish language line instructions, please.
Yes, Chair, this is Margarita, the Spanish interpreter. I will read the Spanish language line instructions. Buenas tardes, estas instrucciones son para la llamada telefónica para escuchar en español. Aquellos hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar esta reunión, por favor marquen el número de teléfono que es el 888-566-1377 para poder escuchar esta reunión en español e ingresen el número de identificación para la reunión que es el 389-1010. De nuevo, el número de teléfono es el 888-566-1377 y por favor ingresen el número de identificación para la reunión que es el 389-1010 para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar esta reunión en español. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, this meeting, it's primarily for communities of interest testimony that's focused on Fresno, Kern, Kings, Madera, Merced, San Joaquin, Stanislaus, Tulare counties, and also surrounding areas. However, if anyone can call in to provide input, don't just have to be from those areas. Now, general public comment will take place at the end of this meeting. Although the commission has divided up California into 11 zones, and we're focused on this zone right now, we want you to know that in no way is this related to or reflective of redistricting lines or boundaries. The commission created the zones to assist commissioners and staff in their outreach efforts only, not as an indication of planned boundaries. Today, we're also joined by our line drawing team, Haystack DNA and Q2 Data and Research LLC, who will be displaying a map of the area that attendees describe. So when you call in, please start with the area you would like to discuss and be as specific as possible. Be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community is located. It is our goal to find the area on the map you'd like to discuss prior to your testimony. So if you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your time will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. We got you. We are also joined by Spanish interpreters and Katie, our comment moderator, who will be introducing attendees when it's their turn to speak. So when you join the meeting, please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. If you have registered for a time slot, we encourage you to call in during your appointment time slot. When it's your turn to speak, Katie, our comment moderator, will be identifying you by your assigned unique ID number. You will then be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and or audio. We love to be able to see your video when you can. Registration is not required to participate in this public input meeting. The public has the option of calling in during this meeting to get in the queue to speak. Now, if you do not have an appointment and you wish to call in to provide public input, the number is 877-853-5247. Again, the number to provide input is 877-853-5247. You will need to enter meeting ID 889-1395-3415. Meeting ID 889-1395-3415. This call-in information, and access code is also listed on the live stream. You'll need to dial this number in order to give public input. So today there will be Spanish interpreters available to interpret non-English input at this call-in number. The comment moderator will assign you a speaker order number before you begin speaking, and please make a note of this for future reference. You'll be able to use this number to identify your community of interest testimony on our website at a future date. So the commission today will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and at 15 seconds remaining. But please know at 3 minutes, you will be cut off at that time, so be aware. At the beginning of your input, you're going to see a map on the screen. Please remind the mapper what area you'd like to see on the screen and be specific as possible about those boundaries of where your community is located. Now, if at the conclusion of the meeting, there's still a need to allow for members of the public in the queue to speak, we're going to continue this community of interest input meeting at a new date. If we just run out of time, we'll continue at a new date and time, and we'll attempt to schedule the remaining of the members of the public for the allotted 3 minutes. Now, please monitor the website as we expect to post a continuation of this agenda within 24 hours should we need to. I want to just switch a little bit and talk a bit about the Communities of Interest tool. While there are no clear rules on how to define a community of interest, we've identified some ways for you to describe your community. So like I've said, begin with your county or city. Mention the street names and significant locations in your neighborhood to help us identify the parameters of your community. What are your shared interests? What brings you together? What is important to your community? Are there nearby areas you want to be in a district with? Are there nearby areas you don't want to be in a district with? Why or why not? And has your community come together to advocate for important services, better schools, roads, or health centers in your neighborhood? Also, we invite you to use the Communities of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community by visiting the drawmycacommunity.org. This website is available in 16 languages. And as we've said, skip the line, go online. Submit your COI input today, and please encourage at least 3 other people to do the same. So as a reminder, even though we're focusing on those counties we talked about, Californians from anywhere in the state are welcome to provide input. So we're going to now begin public input sessions, and we're going to start with the people who are registered and then open the phone lines if there's time before the next session. So if you're calling without an appointment, please don't hang up, as you will lose your place in line if you hang up. So I'm going to pass this over now to Katie, our comment moderator. But right before I do, I just want to say again, as you're describing, when you use north, south, east, west, north to where, remember to give those boundary names to the best extent possible. Okay. So we're going to go to Katie. But right now, let's see. Yeah, I think we're ready, Katie. I think I've gotten through all of our instructions. So are you ready, Miss Katie?
I am, Chair.
All right.
Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, I will identify you by the assigned unique ID number from your invite. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for those with for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3 or 6-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. At the end of your public input or at the end of your time, you will be reconnected in a listen and view only mode. At the beginning of your input, please remind the mapper of what area you would like to see on the screen. At this time, we will have 002, and then up next will be 007. 002, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order is number 1. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, I would like to discuss San Joaquin County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to again address this commission in regards to San Joaquin County. My name is Ken Vogel, retired San Joaquin County Supervisor and a Director of the County Farm Bureau. In my presentation on the 4th, I pointed out the unifying base of agriculture for our county and our economy. The almost $6 billion ag economy includes many ag-related industries, not just the raw products up to 200 different crops produced here. A vital part of our agricultural economy I didn't mention before is our local banks. One of these banks alone does some $200 million of business in agriculture per year. Also, our local educational entities, San Joaquin Delta College and the San Joaquin County Schools, offer agricultural facilities and programs to support agriculture. I say all of this to again emphasize the unifying base for San Joaquin County. A recent survey done by the county has reinforced this view, as the 2 top areas of concern were preserving and enhancing agriculture and the issues about water we depend upon so much. All of this leads again to our hope that a request for our unique county be seriously considered. The census numbers recently released give us a population to be included in 1 congressional district and 1 state Senate district. This would be basically the 5th Senate district as now constituted. We also believe that the county can be basically nested in 2 assembly districts within that state Senate districts. When such districts are created, we are of course hopeful that as much of our agricultural economy and our cultural and ethnic balance can be unified and represented. Thank you again for your consideration.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 007, and then up next will be 014. 007, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 2, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'd also like to discuss San Joaquin County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share additional comments on my community of interest, San Joaquin County. My name is Marla Livingood, and I had the opportunity to comment before the commission in July. When I commented, I commended the commission from 2010 on their work uniting San Joaquin Valley floor communities through Senate District 5. The district is located at the northernmost point of the San Joaquin Valley. All parts of the district are free from geographical barriers such as the Altamont to the west and the Sierras to the east. The district encompasses all of San Joaquin County, and it includes portions of Stanislaus for population equity. These 2 counties both have shared demographics and shared interest in the success of agriculture, transportation, warehousing, and affordable, livable communities. It's important to point out that these shared interests are not found with our other neighboring counties. I ask that the commission build on the example of SD5, enabling San Joaquin County residents to be represented with 1 congressional district encompassing nearly all of San Joaquin County, one state Senate district that maintains SD5, which again encompasses all of San Joaquin County and portions of Stanislaus, and 2 assembly districts nested within the Senate district. Supporting this request is recent census data, which shows San Joaquin County's population has grown to 779,000. That said, our population supports the model of SD5, and it supports 1 congressional district as well as the 2 assembly districts. Also supporting this request are the responses of community members who took part of a recent San Joaquin County redistricting opinion survey. The majority of the respondents wanted to see San Joaquin County represented by 1 single congressional district. A majority of the respondents also wanted to see SD5 remain the same, and a majority wanted to see assembly districts solely represented by San Joaquin County, or within San Joaquin County. In addition, looking at issues of importance, the survey revealed protecting the Delta and water quality issues and agriculture among the most critical issues amongst all San Joaquin County communities. Again, thank you for the opportunity to share my comments and for your work on redistricting. It's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 014, and then up next after that will be 013. 014, I will be promoting you now. Oh, there they are. 014. Your speaker order number will be number 3. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I've enabled the video and audio both. For the mapper, could I ask that he or she draw a little oval around the area around Bakersfield, Kern County? It's in the northeast. That's there we go. The areas I would look at in sort of a boomerang is Bakersfield, about 45, also about 45 miles north is Porterville, and about 70 miles east is Ridgecrest. If you could back out a little and circle those 3 together, I would appreciate it.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, I think we all have the right same idea there. Chairwoman Turner and commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jack Connell, C-O-N-N-E-L-L. I live in the Kern River Valley in the northeast corner of Kern County, and I've lived there for 40 years. I'm a trustee of the Kern Community College District, and I'm here to speak about the effect that redistricting could have upon the district and its colleges. The district, predominantly located in Kern County in the 23rd Congressional District, has 3 colleges: Bakersfield College, Porterville College, and Saracoso College, located in Ridgecrest, and educating up to 42,000 students prior to the ongoing pandemic. Additionally, each college has a number of satellite campuses, including Delano, Southwest Bakersfield, Tehachapi, California City, Kern River Valley, and other remote sites broadly spread out over the district. What I am addressing today and pointed out on the map is the core of the district and the 3 colleges, together located in Porterville, Bakersfield, and Ridgecrest. Since the district and the colleges came together almost 50 years ago, they have bound themselves together, relied upon each other, and strongly relied upon and benefited from Kern County. The district and the colleges also benefit from federal support in educational policies, grant funding, and recent earthquake recovery in Kern County, rebuilding the Lake Isabella Dam, and other federally appropriate support. I believe it would be detrimental to the Kern Community College District and the individual colleges were the college district to be divided among the different congressional districts. It is important to us that the college district and its colleges remain within the same congressional district. Dividing the core of the college district and the colleges among 2 or more congressional districts would have the effect of increasing the workload of the overall college district and slowing and complicating the efforts of each of the colleges regarding federal matters. While overall redistricting is a difficult and challenging necessity, I urge you to keep the core of the Kern Community College District and all 3 of its colleges, Bakersfield, Porterville, and Suracosa and Ridgecrest, in a single congressional district. Keeping the colleges together in the same congressional district with all the communities they serve will eliminate additional work, confusion, and frustration to the district and each of the colleges over the next 10 years. Again, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you on this important matter.
Thank you, Mr. Connell.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 013, and then up next will be 021. 013, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 4. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Uh-oh, we cannot hear you, sir. And you are not on mute. If you can check your audio settings, see if your microphone is set to your... No. Try another one. Click them all.
And how about
there
now?
you are. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Absolutely.
Today we'll be talking about Congressional District 23, Kern County, and Ridgecrest, including the Navy base at China Lake.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to share today. My name is Tim Smith. I'm a resident of the city of Ridgecrest in Kern County, and I am the executive director at the Ridgecrest Chamber of Commerce. Today, I'm calling to request that Ridgecrest remain with the current congressional district lines as it has been since 2011. Ridgecrest is a remote and rural desert community located on the eastern side of the Sierras. It is the only incorporated town within the valley and is adjacent to China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station, which accounts for an approximate 86% of our local economy. As a remote and rural community, we are dependent on our close ties in public services, business, labor, economics, healthcare, education, public safety, and recreation with the rest of Kern County. From earthquakes to pandemics, our county has supported our rural communities. The 2 major earthquakes in July 2019 vividly demonstrated the interdependence and relationship shared across Kern County and the critical importance of maintaining our 23rd district and county lines as it pertains to disaster recovery resources. The earthquakes proved how Ridgecrest and our valley rely on the emergency resources and services from Kern County's fire department, search and rescue teams, and sheriff's department. In addition, as we see the state fire season change, we know how important it is that the City of Ridgecrest and IWV Airport District contract with Kern County Fire Department for year-round fire protection services. COVID has been difficult on all of us, but our small businesses benefited from the Kern Recovers PPP grants. Our community, our base, and our small businesses are stronger because of our county's interconnectedness. As it pertains to our neighboring counties and districts, we have no commonalities with the urban centers found in LA and San Bernardino counties. I, like many of the people who live and work in the rural areas of Eastern Kern, move here to get away from urban overcrowding, hectic lifestyles, and to enjoy the wide open spaces. As I stated previously, the Naval Air Warfare Center at China Lake accounts for a significant portion of our local economy and has a unique mission along with Edwards Air Force Base. The two military bases share the common mission of aerospace defense research,
30 seconds.
development, and testing, which require unique knowledge and understanding. Our residents and local businesses benefit from the relationships that have been forged within our county. And so we request that we remain within Kern County, state, and federal district lines. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Smith.
Right now we have 021, and then up next after that will be 003. 021, I will be promoting you now. Zero 21, your speaker order number is number 5. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. My area of interest is California City in Kern County, the eastern side, and we are currently part of the Congressional District 23. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is David Brotland. I'm a 32-year resident of California City and Kern County. I'm a retired U.S. Air Force and also retired from my second career as a systems engineer working at flight testing at Edwards Air Force Base. California City is a rural high desert community located on the eastern side of Kern County, and geographically, we're the third largest city in California. It is within close proximity of Edwards Air Force Base, Mojave Air and Spaceport, and the Naval Warfare Center at China Lake. I would describe California City as a bedroom community of approximately 14,000 residents. And the majority of our working residents work outside the community at various aerospace facilities. I have 2 points to make. First, California City has a lot in common with the other communities in the rural high desert East Southern Sierra region. And being a part of Kern County is a more reflective relationship than being part of the Los Angeles area or even San Bernardino area. Kern County as a whole is almost completely rural and understands and works closely with all of the small communities in our county. Having the rural East Southern Sierra communities as part of Kern County is just logical when it comes to representation. Secondly, having worked in flight tests for 32 years in the region consisting of Edwards Air Force Base, Mojave Air and Spaceport, and the Naval Warfare Center at China Lake, I have witnessed the symbiotic relationship between all these locations based on a common objectives of research, development, and testing. Also, all these entities are participating in Kern County-wide initiatives to support and grow the aerospace sector. To me, it is logical that all these entities require a unique knowledge and understanding of those efforts in order to provide proper representation at the federal level. So those are my inputs, and thank you for the opportunity to provide public input to the Commission.
Well, thank you.
Right now we will have 003, and then up next will be 023. 003, I will be promoting you now. (003), your speaker order number will be number 6. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, I would like to discuss San Joaquin County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Chairwoman Turner and members of the commission, I am Reverend Dwight Williams, lifelong resident of the city of Stockton and of course, of San Joaquin County. I'm a local pastor and nonprofit developer here in the city of Stockton. I'm here to speak specifically on the issues of San Joaquin County, specifically being an incredibly diverse community, Stockton being, of course, our capital city within the county, representing one of the most diverse cities in America. But our county is an incredibly diverse community with a strong agricultural base at its root and at its core. We participated often in various discussions with a number of stakeholders, and across all ethnic lines, the overwhelming consensus of those stakeholders was the need of keeping San Joaquin County whole and together. The neighbors next on the side of us in Contra Costa County, which would more or less make up the district of CD9, it's a significantly different set of view than is off within an area in San Joaquin County. Contra Costa is significantly different. It has more of a Bay Area-based root element to it, and thereby it does not really fit the conditions that fits here within San Joaquin County. San Joaquin County, being large in and of itself, has a tremendous amount of diversity, agriculture, and business, which is contiguous with counties like Stanislaus County. So I am encouraging this commission to keep San Joaquin County whole and also to use the maps of SD5 specifically to keep those boundary maps contiguous with one congressional representative on the federal level and no more than 2 assembly representatives contiguous within Senate District 5. We feel like that is more contiguous with the agricultural rural-based nature and the light urban mix that fits off within the valley, the Central Valley particularly, while Contra Costa is more urban and more of a higher, faster pace, if you will. So I encourage this commission to keep us whole, and I want to thank this commission and all the work that you do to help hear the voices of the people. Thank each and every one of you.
Thank you, Reverend Williams.
Right now we will have 023, and then up next will be 005. 023, I will be promoting you now. (023), your speaker order number will be number 7. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, for the mapper, my area of interest is current Congressional District 23 in Kern County and Ridgecrest, city of Ridgecrest, including the Navy base at China Lake.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Dave Ostash, and I'm the superintendent of Sierra Sands Unified School District. And I'm also a Ridgecrest and Kern County resident for 25 years now. Sierra Sands Unified School District serves over 5,000 students from transitional kindergarten through 12th grade, as well as adult school. We serve students all throughout the Indian Wells Valley and maintain a fleet of district buses to transport students from a wide and remote geographic area. Sierra Sands actually unified back in the 1970s, combining 4 separate and disjointed districts into one unified district. Incidentally, up until that point of unification, one of the 4 districts serving this eastern region of Kern County was the Kern Union High School District going back to the 1940s. I mention that because this eastern region in Kern County has very deep roots with government and agency integration within the existing Kern County federal district lines. Sierra Sands operates very successfully under a comprehensive support structure provided by the Kern County Superintendent of Schools. The Kern County Superintendent of Schools office offers 2 prominent joint powers agreement organizations that we rely very heavily upon: School Legal Services and Self-Insured Schools of California. When it comes to safety at all 10 of our district schools, we have long-standing partnerships with the Kern County Fire Department and Kern County Sheriff's Department. In fact, one of our schools is not in the city limit, and we are reliant upon the Kern County Sheriff's Department for law enforcement response. While we appreciate our local health providers in Ridgecrest, our school district also enjoys long-standing partnerships with county-led programs such as College Community Health Services, and various hard-to-find services such as mental and behavioral services are provided through those county resources. Lastly, we do not have a four-year university within the eastern region of Kern County, but we do have a California community college. It was mentioned earlier, Cerro Coso Community College is one of the colleges in the Kern Community College District, and it's located right here in Ridgecrest. We're extremely fortunate to have long-standing articulation agreements and pathway opportunities, such as dual and concurrent enrollment programs that are strongly supported by the Kern Community College District and our students rely heavily upon. In my 25 years of experience in the Sierra Sands Unified School District, I have seen firsthand how integrated our district is with agencies and services within Kern County. Continued representation by our elected officials within current district lines will be absolutely vital for the continued success of our public school district, which serves a very diverse student body over here on the eastern side of Kern County. Thank you so much for the opportunity to provide public input to your commission and for my chance to share this important information for your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ostash.
Right now we will have 005, and then up next after that will be 016. 005, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 8. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. The area of interest is current Congressional District 23, Kern County, and the city of Ridgecrest.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. As you've heard already, Ridgecrest is a remote and isolated high desert community located on the east side of Kern County, adjacent to the Naval Weapons Center. My name is Jed McLaughlin. I'm a Ridgecrest and Kern County resident now for about 27 years, and I'm currently the chief of police for the city of Ridgecrest. As a remote and isolated community, we're dependent on our close ties throughout the county. Kern County is comprised of one major city and several rural cities, and due to the geographical makeup of Kern County, we share many of the same needs. Our needs are different than LA or San Bernardino counties. It is important to maintain consistency in Kern County representation at all levels of government to better serve all of our citizens. Maintaining public safety throughout Kern County is a priority, which has been validated by the citizens passing tax measures to maintain police and fire services. As a member of the Kern Chiefs Association, I have built relationships with all the other public safety alliances located in our county. As the local leaders in public safety, we consistently meet to discuss how to better serve the citizens in our communities. The association has provided us opportunities to build relationships with our elected state and federal representatives. In July 2019, I was able to use these relationships to help my community. On July 4th and 5th, we experienced two major earthquakes, a magnitude 6.3 and magnitude 7.1. I was the incident commander for this disaster, and after the first quake, I immediately started calling my resources for assistance. Within a short period of time, the city of Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley had a plethora of resources readily available. Because of the relationships and continuity built with all the levels of government represented in Kern County, we did not lose a single life, and our property damage was minimized. Our state and local representatives long understood the unique community issues and concerns were immediately instrumental in both the response and recovery efforts. These representatives not only work hard hand in hand with Ridgecrest community and the IW residents, they also help the neighboring city in another county and district. It is vitally important that Ridgecrest remain within Kern County, state and federal district lines as we rely on the continuity and consistency that has been built over the years to better serve and protect all of our residents. To change representation would upset the stability of the IWV throughout the county. Thank you, commissioners, for your time and allowing me to give my input.
Chief, if you would hold on one second. One moment, please. Just a quick, basically you're wanting to stay where you are in Congressional
Yes.
District 23. Okay. Okay, because you mentioned Kern and surrounding counties. We just wanted to make sure with our mappers what your community of interest testimony was. Okay,
Yes.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Right now we will have 016, and then up next after that will be 001. 016, I will be promoting you now. Zero 016, your speaker order number will be number 9, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. 016? There you are.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Good evening, commissioners and other panelists. Can you highlight Joaquin County for me, if you don't mind, please? I'll be speaking specifically about Stockton, especially for the Black community in this area. So specifically want Stockton to be kept, with in the San Joaquin County. And my focus, once again, my name is Folon Shaw Ashaolu. I've been a citizen of the state and for almost 16 years, where I've lived, and also in Stockton for the same year. So the COI area, like I said, is Stockton, 8 Mile Road southbound, and Davis Road, all in Stockton eastbound. 8 Mile Road southbound, and Davis Road eastbound, to be all kept in San Joaquin. There are many common issues identified with Black community in Stockton, and this includes parks, schools, and housing, and these are mostly located, and the Blacks are mostly located in the south and southeast of Stockton. So populating Stockton, someone said earlier, being one of the most diverse city in US, and yet be racially marginalized. We don't want to see the Black community being separated, due to redistricting. So we can have all the amenities necessary for the development of this group. Recently, there have been gentrification from Bay Area, mostly Blacks, and especially they coming to this area that I just mentioned, clustering the place. This influx has therefore caused mostly, a lot of socio-economically negative impact in this community. So redistricting, I believe, is going to be the only way to handle this disadvantage factor among the Black, which is going to be able to bring us together, bringing equity, like schools, parks, and other things that are very, very common that bind us together. So it will provide also a Black representation in position of authority to uplift their voices, being heavily impacted by this problem of that I've mentioned earlier. 1938 redlining of South and Southeast Stockton has left and kept the Black community
20 seconds.
disadvantaged, with low expectancy and of economically risk and insecurity. Pollution on site and other factors going to pose risks poorly to this community. So I strongly pray that we keep this Black community together in Stockton. I want to thank you for your time. And
yes, I'm going to need to get the caller back. Mr. Folenshaw, can you bring him back for a quick moment, please?
Sure thing, Chair. Just a moment. Zero 016, if you could please unmute. The chair had some additional questions for you.
Thank you.
Mr. Fullenshaw, thank you for your testimony. A couple of questions, please. Your community of interest is the Black communities. You said within the city of, within Stockton, you wanted to stay within the San Joaquin County, but you also mentioned southbound, eastbound, and would love to have you define those streets. Where do you see the boundaries? What street names?
Thank you. You can see right there, 8 Mile Road, southbound. Yeah, so 8 Mile Road, southbound. Yeah, right there.
Okay, 8 Mile, 8 Mile, okay.
Yeah, 8 Mile
Yes.
Road. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And on the west is, that's gonna be Taunton eastbound. Taunton eastbound. Yeah, I can see that Taunton eastbound.
Oh, Thornton Road, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the areas.
Okay. East, 8 Mile, Thornton, and then east is
East, this is within the Omer. You can see Omer all the way down, 99, just exactly 99.
okay.
99. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much for your time.
Right now we will have 001, and then up next after that will be 010. 001, I will be promoting you now. 001, your speaker order number is number 10. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, I would like to address San Joaquin County, please.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Betty Wilson, and I am the Executive Director for the Business Council San Joaquin County. I had the opportunity to speak at the last meeting for Zone F, and I'm looking forward to sharing my testimony once again today. We feel the 5th State Senate District is a great model for the future. With our congressional district and 2 assembly districts nested in that Senate district, we would be meeting our goals of communities of interest, equal representation of our population, cover the Voting Rights Act, show contiguity, and respect geographical boundaries. Prior to 2011, San Joaquin County was carved into numerous districts. At that time, not a single representative lived within the boundaries of San Joaquin County, and that made it very difficult for the community's collective voice to be heard on issues of importance to its residents. When the maps were drawn in 2011, San Joaquin County was for the most part kept together. Keeping the county together over the last 10 years has been extremely important for the residents of San Joaquin County, and our goal is to ensure that this momentum can be maintained in the future. San Joaquin County has been able to work together on agricultural issues, which accounts for almost $6 billion being contributed to our economy, job creation, food insecurities, education opportunities, homeless solutions, broadband issues in our rural and underserved areas, and our unique transportation issues. Our communities are concerned about continuation of agricultural production, water shortages, affordable and livable communities, and well-paying jobs for the families that live and work in San Joaquin County. We have come together to advocate for important services, better schools, roads, and health centers for the people that live and work in our area. We request the Commission to seriously consider keeping our community of interest together and retain boundaries with other communities with similar characteristics so our residents can continue to speak with one voice on issues that influence their region. Thank you again for your consideration and for everything you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Right now we will have 010, and then up next after that will be 017. 010, I will be promoting you now. 010, your speaker order number is number 11. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, thanks so much. My name is Jeremy Woods. I'm an entrepreneurship professor from Cal State Bakersfield. And the region in question is basically a triangle in Kern County with Bakersfield at the western edge, and then Ridgecrest in the northeastern corner, and Edwards Air Force Base down there in the southeastern corner.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so like I said, I'm Jeremy Woods. I'm an entrepreneurship professor from Cal State Bakersfield, and as one of the leaders of our entrepreneurship community here in Kern County, in addition to working with our West Kern ag and aerospace sectors, I've been working a lot over the last couple of years with the East Kern aerospace corridor, and the synergies among our local ag, energy, and aerospace sectors for federally funded technology transfer related economic development are absolutely critical to this region's competitiveness and its contribution to the California economy. Breaking these industries up into separate congressional districts, and currently we're all in the 23rd, would significantly weaken that competitiveness at a federal level. Furthermore, just to give you a little bit of an idea here, the major aerospace and defense assets and what we like to call Aerospace Valley or the Eastern Sierra Aerospace Corridor have been known for the better part of the century as the center of the aerospace testing universe. And really the communities of China, of Ridgecrest, which, sort of is right there next to China Lake Naval Air Warfare Center, Lancaster and Palmdale, which are home to Edwards Air Force Base, Air Force Plant 42, and the Air Force Research Labs Rocket Division, as well as Mojave Air and Spaceport in Mojave. They really function synergistically as a single community, and they all share expertise, technology, and economic development resources. Additionally, as some of my fellow speakers have said, we share a rural culture, and we really, the East Kern side of the district really depends heavily on public safety, healthcare, and disaster recovery services from the west side of the county. So throwing any of those Aerospace Valley, Eastern Sierra Aerospace Corridor assets into another congressional district that's dominated by large urban centers, such as the LA Basin, would subject our aerospace sector to competition for resources from a community that really doesn't understand the ins and outs of that economic development community. And I firmly recommend that we keep them all together in a single community. So thank you very much for your time, and I yield the floor back to whoever's next.
Professor Woods, a couple of questions for you.
Just a moment, sir. Just a moment.
Okay.
(010), if you could please unmute.
Yes, I'm unmuted again. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Woods, real quick, on the, what East Kern cities?
So the East Kern cities, really all of them, but the ones that I mentioned in particular are Mojave, Edwards, which is basically Lancaster and Palmdale, but Edwards there right next to Rosamond, and Ridgecrest up in the northeast corner. California City is also a big part of that community as well.
And also all of Bakersfield?
Yes. So Bakersfield on the west side is where all of our four-year university resources are based right now. We work heavily with the East Kern aerospace sector.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Right now we will have 017, and then up next after that will be 006. I would like to invite 008, 015, 008 and 015 to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen as you have appointments during this session, and you will have priority. I see your hands. Perfect. So right now we will have 017, and then up next will be 006. 017, I am promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be number 12. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone on the commission. At my area I'd like to discuss would be near South Chester Avenue and Plans in the city of Bakersfield, going north to California Avenue, and then coming back down all the way east down to Cottonwood.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. My name is Nick Hill. I am the president of the Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce here. And we are on the economic side of this redistricting. And so our main concern right now is that Central Bakersfield has been underrepresented for at least 8 to 10 years. And so with that, we're dealing with a housing crisis right now, as far as with the rise of renting and things like that, because as you know, in the African-American community in that area, a lot of people are renting and they are not homeowners, you know, and if the rent keeps going up, well, number one, we're going to be forced to be homeless. And this is going to be indicative for quite a few residents. And during this time, in this last 8 to 10 years, we've had no African-American political representation in this area. So therefore, there's no one that's been a champion for our values. And this is quite evident in the funds that's been awarded lately, I'd say in this last 30 days. And where in the Hispanic community, other communities, they've awarded millions and millions of dollars for economic recovery and other advantages. But in the African-American community, they have not awarded nowhere near this amount. You know, so like we suffer from the economic standpoint, but also with the housing in the political process, because like I said, we have no one that's representing our values for the African-American process. So if these areas are split up, that's going to decrease the population of the African-American community and just make us more minute than we already are. So I'm asking the commission to make sure that they keep us all concentrated in this area under this one redistricting lines, and make sure, you know, that we're not spread out too thin where we cannot be seen or represented. And like I said, with the streets, we need to have these streets, these areas repaved and everything else. But like, just to reiterate, I want to say the political process, we have no say in the political process. And we want to make sure that our schools are properly represented and that we can get affordable housing. And right now, I'd like to say thank you for your time. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
Mr. Hill?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, before you hang up, you mentioned Central Bakersfield. Can you give me street boundaries again?
Yes, that's South Chester Avenue in plans. And I want to go all the way north to California Avenue. And then I want to come all the way down east, all the way down to Cottonwood, in between Union and then there's Cottonwood. Those areas they've always been neglected.
Okay. Okay, we got it. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 006, and then up next will be 020. And again, I'd like to invite 011, 015, and 017 to please use the raise hand button. Or 017 just spoke, but the other ones. 011 and 015 to use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen, as you do have appointments during this session. 006, I will be promoting you now. .006, your speaker order number is number 13, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. 006. You could unmute at this time.
There we go.
There you are.
Computer's slow. Area interest, Congressional District 23, Kern County, and Ridgecrest, including Naval Base China Lake.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Chip Holloway. I'm a 30-year Ridgecrest and Kern County resident. I served on the Ridgecrest City Council for 16 years, from 1998 to 2014, including 2 terms as mayor. I now serve as the CEO of the Desert Empire Fairgrounds, which is the California 53rd District Agricultural Association. First and foremost, I'm asking for our districts to remain status quo. As you have learned today, Ridgecrest is remote and isolated, and we're adjacent to China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station. The base accounts for 85% of the total economy of Indian Valley and supports 38,000 residents. As a remote, isolated community, relationships are the most important capital we can possess. During one of my terms as mayor, the base was facing a severe reduction in force or possible closure during the base realignment and closure process. This would not have only been devastating to Ridgecrest, it would have been a tremendous loss to California. At one time, bases in California generated the equivalent of over $100 billion of revenue. That has shrunk to less than half in the last 3 decades. Our synergy with Edwards Air Force Base and Mojave Spaceport not only benefits Ridgecrest, it benefits the entire state of California. Understanding the unique capabilities, resources, and opportunities these 3 entities provide requires years of educating, updating, and touring elected officials, staff, and stakeholders. The plethora of threats and challenges are never ending. I feel very comfortable that our current representation understands this better than anyone. To reach the level of understanding in place currently would take decades of effort, not to mention if we were lumped together in a district that shared a huge, large metropolis, the competing interests would prevent any normal person of the time necessary or the commitment to get anywhere near the expertise in place today. Again, this would not only hurt Ridgecrest, this would hurt California as a whole. Fast forward to my role as CEO of the fairgrounds today. In 2019, the fairgrounds was the staging area for over 39 different agencies, including Kern County Fire and Cal OES. The response was incredible in that it was fast, efficient, and everything we needed arrived as quickly as humanely possible. I credit this to the incredible relationship we have nurtured and cultivated over the last 25 years. We posted on Facebook throughout the process, and our neighbors to the east, the residents of Trona, California, a small town which sits in San Bernardino County, responded for 3 days begging for help. The help that arrived came from us until finally, after 72 hours, they had a response from their elected officials. The reason I bring this up is I fear if we were to be lumped into a district with little understanding of our challenges and needs, we would face the same risk. Please keep our lines as they currently are, or an economic emergency could easily become a human tragedy. Thanks for your time and the incredible commitment you have made to this process.
Thank you, Mr. Holloway.
Right now we will have 020, and then up next will be 008. 020, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be number 14 if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I'd like to discuss the city of Fresno.
Thank you. Go ahead, please. Zero 20, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Give me a second, please.
No problem. Your time will begin when you're ready.
Okay. For some reason, I'm not showing up, but you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Rick Keys, and I'm a resident of the city of Fresno, and that's what I'm talking about is the city of Fresno. I've lived here, I moved here when I was 12 years old. I've lived here for 51 years. And my concern is about really the southwest and southeast areas of Fresno, and I'll get more defined on the streets I'm talking about when I'm done. What I have seen since I've lived here is very little consistent improvement in Black neighborhoods and really in BIPOC neighborhoods in general. There's been some spotty and scattered growth, but really no change. If anything, things have gone the other direction. They've gone backwards. So the opportunities here are not really afforded the Black community as opposed to the other parts of Fresno, particularly the northern end of Fresno. Now, I've lived all over the city. I currently live in a city that's like a bedroom community called Clovis. And I moved to Clovis for better opportunities for my family, safer neighborhoods, basically what everyone wants. What has, quite frankly, befuddled me is why, after 50 plus years, there's been no change to make the communities in the southwest and southeast parts of Fresno the same. There's been imbalance since I've lived here. And for me, what that points to is no representation for those areas, which means for our youth, no opportunities, and constantly headed down a path of no hope. So that's really my concern. What I question is whether or not the outreach in those communities has been effective enough to educate people about the importance of paying attention to who their legislators are in those districts, and whether or not they're really representing them well.
30 seconds.
The area that I'm speaking of is going to be really southwest of 99. It's going to be south
15 seconds
of Dakota Avenue. There are pocket areas in the northern parts of Fresno that have the same issues, but they're really small. Thank you very much.
Okay. Chair, I'm the chair. We need to have, please, Mr. Keys come back and quickly give us the other.
Mr. Keys is still here with us, Chair.
Oh, beautiful. Mr. Keys, can you define the streets quickly on the other side?
So as we're going east-west, it's going to be Dakota Avenue.
Uh-huh.
And as we go south of 99, actually southwest of 99, it will be from Clinton Avenue going south.
Okay, South Dakota. And the other side of 90 to the other side of 99 or this side of 99?
It's going to be this side of 99.
Okay.
But also getting into the downtown area, going southwest and southeast. That's really the areas.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Keys, thank you.
Thank you.
Right now we will have 008. Your speaker order number is number 15. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, the area I'd like to speak to is in Kern County. Ridgecrest, California, so Northeast. Yeah, we've all been talking a lot about that today. Yep. Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that camera was all the way up on me. That's awkward. So the first thing I wanted to say is thank you, commissioners, for let us go taking a part in this process. Commissioner Anderson, I remember you came to our city council meeting and you briefed us all, and I did have some public outreach after your briefing, and I can't thank you all enough for this process. I spent just a few days in Sacramento, and I know it's counting my time, but I wanted to make this clear, is that this commission is one of the fairest, even within the United States, and that was pointed out to me, and I really appreciate that dedication. My name is Kyle Blades. I am a current city council member of Ridgecrest, California. And I am also lucky enough to have a job at China Lake, and I work as a systems engineer. I've been a flight test engineer, and now I've successfully made my way into boring middle management. And so I feel like I can speak at least to a large portion of our special interest community. And I consider it special because of how unique the area is. Our desert, sometimes on this east side of the Kern, we do feel isolated, but we have been lucky enough to find out that each time we've needed Kern County assets, we've needed, whether it comes to EMS, whether it comes to just our supervisors, whether it comes to the 23rd district representation, have always, and I want to say, like, they've came right to our need every time we've needed something. So I can't express enough how much I think it would change the dynamics of our area and how people feel that they're represented. I think that if we were somehow pushed to San Bernardino or Los Angeles, there would be a large group of people in Ridgecrest from the folks that talk to me as a representative that would feel disenfranchised. And so I just wanted to make that clear, because I'm sure that goes into the process. You've heard from several members before me, and I don't think anybody's misspoken to the economics. I think it's almost a 2-to-1 ratio that Kern County assists the Ridgecrest area for money we give to services they give back to us. So that's vitally important. You heard from the school districts, and that not just the school districts, but also the college districts, how valuable that partnership is. And then, of course, I can speak to you to the Department of Defense aspect. The relationship we have with our representatives right now has been enormous to our area. So I do humbly thank you. Thank you for your time, for considering my testimony. Thank you for the work that you do. It is greatly appreciated. And I hope that if this ever happens again, you'll come right back and give us a presentation. Thank all of you.
Beautiful. And you're just basically saying keep CD 23 the same.
Please, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, we got it. Thank you, Mr. Wood.
And Chair, we are up against a break at this point.
We are indeed. Thank you so much. So we are going to actually take that break. When we return from break, we're going to start with individuals who are registered for an appointment time slot, and then we'll open the phone lines as we have opportunity. When we return from break in 15 minutes, we're going to be in the hands of Commissioner Vasquez that will take it next. And so let's see, we'll come back actually at 4:45. We'll be back. You have a 2-minute bonus break. 4:45, we'll be back. Thank you.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission, COI, input meeting. We also encourage you to visit the Communities of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. For anyone who has joined us recently, we are offering language lines for Spanish language speakers to listen to the meeting in their native language, and a separate line for those who wish to provide public comment or public input. Could I please have each of our interpreters provide our language line numbers and the information to provide public input? So first, for our Spanish interpreter, please read the site translation of full call-in instructions.
Yes, hello, Chair. This is Margarita, Spanish interpreter. I will read the full call-in instructions in Spanish. Thank you. Para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar la reunión en español, por favor marquen el 888-566-1377 para escuchar la reunión en español e ingresen el número de identificación que es el 389-1010. De nuevo, el número de teléfono es el 888-566-1377 e ingresen el número de identificación de la reunión que es el 389-1010 para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar la reunión en español. Si usted desea dar comentario público, el número de teléfono que tiene que marcar es el 877-853-5247. De nuevo, el número de teléfono para dar sus comentarios públicos es el 877-853-5247. Usted va a necesitar ingresar el número 889-1395-3415. Usted va a necesitar marcar este nuevo número de teléfono para poder dar sus comentarios públicos. Si usted necesita a un intérprete para dar su comentario, se le proveerá uno en este número de teléfono. Si usted está hablando para poder hablar, por favor no cuelgue, si no perderá su lugar en la fila. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. As a reminder, even though we are focusing on specific counties, Californians from anywhere in the state are welcome to provide input. I will pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator, to continue with public input. And we will start with people who are registered and then open the phone lines if there is time before the next session.
Thank you so much, Chair. Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, I will identify you by your assigned unique ID number from your invite. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3 or 6-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. At the end of your public input, or at the end of your time, you will be reconnected in a listen and view only mode. At the beginning of your input, please remind the mapper of what area you would like to see on the screen. We will be beginning with 015, and then up next after that will be 011 from the previous session, and then we will move to the next appointments. 015, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be number 16, if you will please make note of that for future reference, and if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello. The area of interest is the city of California City and its surrounding area, which includes Edwards Air Force Base and the communities of Rosamond, Boron, and Mojave in Kern County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Alexia Ines Alvarez Veda, and I have been a resident of the city of California City in Kern County for over 20 years. And I am currently the president of the California City Chamber of Commerce. California City is the only incorporated city in Southeast Kern County. It is rural, remote, underserved, and a high desert city located on the southern end of the Eastern Sierra, and it neighbors Edwards Air Force Base, which hosts NASA Armstrong and the Air Force Research Laboratory. And let me be clear, those are very squarely in Kern County. And we also neighbor the Mojave Air and Spaceport. Let me address what we would like to see in our district. The largest economic driver in Eastern Kern County is aerospace. Edwards Air Force Base contributes $2.7 billion, that's with a B, dollars to the economy. There's a Navy base, China Lake, up in Ridgecrest to the north of us, and that contributes another $1.9 billion to our economy. Our military bases, and including the Mojave Air and Spaceport, with their research, development, and test missions, which are located in the R-2508 airspace, are found nowhere else in the United States. They need to be kept in one congressional district in order to provide proper representation at a federal level. Their funding, infrastructure, and encroachment issues are unique and are often very different from the more usual military training and operational base missions, such as Fort Irwin and 29 Palms. What would not work well in our district? Including California City and Edwards Air Force Base and its surrounding area with urban areas such as Los Angeles or San Bernardino, cities or counties, would not bode well with the Eastern Kern County and Eastern Sierra area. We are rural, and our needs, challenges, and assets are very different from urban areas. Also, Edwards and China Lake have been exemplary stewards of the environment and do not need to be included in some of the challenges involving other bases. For the economy of our state and for the safety of our nation, we need to support our unique rural interests and military-friendly area by keeping it in one congressional district. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 011, and then up next will be 027. 011, I will be promoting you now. Zero 11 appears to be some connectivity issues. I am going to do the audio only option at this time. Unique ID 011, if you could please unmute at this time on your screen. There appears to be some connectivity issues at this time. We will come back to 011. At this time, we will go to 027, and up next after that will be 024. And I'd also like to invite those that have joined with the appointments during this session to please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the comment queue line. 027, I will be promoting you now. 027, your speaker order number will be number 17, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello and good evening. My name is Zaina Chaffee, and the general community of interest I'll be addressing is Northeast Fresno within Fresno County, bound by North First Street to the west, East Bullard to the north, and East Ashland Avenue to the south, which then follows North Cedar Avenue down to West Shaw Avenue, over 168 down North Chestnut Avenue to the east. Is everybody able to hear me?
Yes, thank you. Go ahead, please.
Perfect. Thank you so much. My name is Zaina Chaffee from CARE Sacramento Valley, Central California, and I am the community organizer. CARE SBCC advocates for just policies for our communities, provides pro bono civil rights and immigration and legal services to families in need, builds future youth leaders by organizing civic engagement and education initiatives such as getting out the vote, census, redistricting to the AMEMSA, Arab, Middle Eastern, and South Asian communities in Fresno County between the regions of Bakersfield to Merced. I have lived in Fresno for over 20 years, and CARE is with the AAPI and AMEMSA Redistricting Collaborative. Our community is connected by faith, culture, and language. Friday prayers, youth programs, and mosques bring our community together. The Muslim community generally lives close to mosques for easy access. Masjid Fresno, which is located in Northeast Fresno on Shaw, right by Fresno State, is the largest mosque in Fresno. The Muslim community in Northeast Fresno surrounding Masjid Fresno are primarily South Asian, Palestinian, and Syrian first or second generation immigrants. In addition, in 2016, there was a heavy influx of Syrian immigrants that reside south of Bullard near Masjid Fresno. Because of the strong immigrant presence in this community, there's a shared concern for immigrants' rights, quality education, access to affordable housing and transportation, culturally competent and in-language resources, and youth programs for our communities to thrive in America. The Muslim community in this region, particularly the Syrian refugee population, have migrated from a war-ridden developing country and share the need to feel safe and accepted again, being in a community with the very people who understand their language, culture, and values. We hope that the Commission will respect our community of interest and keep it whole. Additionally, we would like to be in district with West Fresno due to a large Muslim population with shared interests regarding infrastructure, COVID-19, and immigration with communities in this area. We do not want to be in district with urban communities surrounding North Fresno and Fig Garden due to lack of shared interests and priorities. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 024, and then up next will be 047. 024, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 18. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. The area of interest I will be addressing is Northwest Fresno, around the intersection of Herndon and Milburn Avenue. May I continue?
Yes, go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Sukaina Hussain. I am the Deputy Executive Director at CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations in Sacramento Valley in Central California. I am also speaking as a part of the AAPI and AMEMSA Redistricting Collaborative, and I have lived in Fresno for nearly 6 years now. You've heard a little bit about CARE. As a nonprofit organization, we are focused on providing legal services for the Muslim community, protecting civil rights, and advocating for just policies. I will be focusing, as I said, on the northwest area of Fresno, in the city of Fresno within Fresno County. This community of interest in Northwest Fresno is located around Masjid Badr, B-A-D-R, which is a mosque that's located on Herndon and Milburn Avenues. It is bound by Bullard Avenue to the south, Marks Avenue to the east, Highway 99 on the west, and it continues north of Herndon Avenue. This region has a significant population of Muslim and Arabic-speaking immigrants and should remain whole. Over the past decade, there has been an increase in Muslim residents who are moving into this area. In particular, the immigrant community, of Muslim background, identifies as Arabic-speaking from Middle Eastern communities. They're largely first-generation families, and they have shared language, shared religious values, and shared cultural similarities. The Muslim community has not only been concentrated in this region due to lower cost of living, but also due to proximity of the mosque, Masjid Badr. This mosque not only serves as a place of worship, but it's also a community center where groups such as young people, seniors, students, mothers, and many other groups gather for special interest activities. In addition to regular Friday services, the mosque holds daily prayers, many evening and weekend events, and all of these bring the community together on a very regular basis. There is a feeling of being connected to the mosque, not just in proximity by physical location, but also spiritually. And that feeling is very important to the Muslim community. And it's actually led to an increased concentration of Muslim residents in this region. Many issues that impact the Muslim community are those that impact a lot of immigrant communities. Some of the shared priorities for our community are related to the refugee population, and other concerns that bring the community together are related to education, schools, and families that have young children in those schools, cost of rent and housing, and in-language Arabic access to county and city resources. Today, we ask the Commission to keep this community of interest together and whole, as well as other immigrant communities in that region. That includes the Monk and the Punjabi Sikh community, and we ask you to keep it separate from advantaged communities in North Fresno and Fig Garden. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will have 047. And then up next after that will be 031. 047, I'll be promoting you now. (047), your speaker order number will be number 19, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Robin Cole, and I'm looking at San Joaquin County, specifically the city of Tracy, where I'm calling from.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. So I will be commenting on San Joaquin County, the redistricting survey commissioned by San Joaquin County supervisors that was conducted in early August. The results were announced this week. I do not know exactly how the survey was promoted. I personally found out about it via friends and Nextdoor. So it was not as easily, you couldn't get to the survey easily unless you know where to look for it. But overall, it does not appear to be a representative sample of San Joaquin County. First of all, there were only 15% of Latino people surveyed compared to 42% of Latinos that make up our county. Only 5% of African Americans were surveyed. More whites than Latinos, Asians, and African Americans combined were surveyed. Only 16% of the people surveyed were under the age of 35, while over ages 50, there was 57%. So lots of elderly people, not so much the younger folks. Secondly, I want to reiterate that this is not a representative sample. And our county is comprised of Tracy, Stockton. Tracy's very suburban to the San Francisco Bay Area. Stockton is a city. Everything around us is relatively rural and agricultural. And so while we may share the same sentiment on specific solutions, we all agree that San Joaquin should be kept whole. However, if we do diverge in keeping San Joaquin whole, if it reduces the ability for Latinos to be elected as preferred candidates. When I took the survey, for example, in looking at the county in two different ways, I looked at it from a suburban area of San Joaquin that, I can't do my lawn, my water quality needs to be good, that sort of thing. Whereas folks in Eastern San Joaquin, Northern San Joaquin would probably look at it more from an agricultural perspective. So addressing that one issue would have very different results, a very different input, depending upon where in the county you were. We do not talk about how San Joaquin should be drawn. We should discuss that once more data is achieved. The survey should come out more. However, we would like to keep Mountain House, which is currently not in our congressional district, together. We would like to bring that in. And if we do have to split, we would prefer a north-south split with other valley counties as opposed to an east-west split, would take us into the hills. And I think that I am out of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 031, and then up next will be 040. 031, I'll be promoting you now. 031, your speaker order number will be number 20, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please hit the map or note area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Tammy, and I'm looking over Fresno. And I am the Fresno Fair organizer for Hmong Nevada Politics, or HIP, and HIP's mission is to strengthen the political power to the largest Hmong American population in the state. I was also born and raised in Fresno and have lived here for 26 years. And Fresno is my hometown and is a place near and dear to my heart. As a child, I moved around Fresno a lot due to poverty and economic disparities, so I know the areas in which my community resides very well. HIP also served as a member of API and Amisha Redistricting Collaborative. The Fresno Hmong community is one of the largest Hmong community in the US, and people come from all over the country to participate in its annual Fresno Hmong New Year. The Hmong community used to be concentrated in one area in central southeastern Fresno, but throughout the years, it has expanded, and we now live in clusters throughout Fresno with particular landmarks concentration in such as Fresno Fairground, Sunnyside High School, Melody Park, Somerset Village or Firm, Edison High School, and Central High School area. I will submit a written copy of my testimony with more information about where our Hmong communities are located. Our communities share a variety of characteristics, such as we're made of first-generation immigrants who fled war in the early 1980s and 1990s. We settle in low-income and affordable housing areas of Fresno. Due to lack of access to financial capital and literacy, our community members are more as renters and homeowners in the area. As community members attain more financial capital, most have moved to the suburban areas such as Clovis, Sanger, and Central Side. Our community has been in the United States for over 45 years, with the current median age for our community being 23 years old, with a huge proportion of them being American born. There is still a population of community members who are 60 years and over with limited English proficiency. To finally support themselves, some families establish in small businesses in the farming industry, creative clothing outlets, some in the service and manufacturing industries, and others in the medical health and nonprofit sectors, such as myself. Our community members tend to graduate from high school, but have low rates of college attainment due to a long history of disenfranchisement. These characteristics means that our community have many shared concerns, particularly issues such as providing more culturally appropriate programming in schools, better language access in government assistance programs and services, and including the need for tenant protection, adequate health, housing, mental health services, and more. Finally, we ask the Commission to respect our boundaries of interest to the extent possible. We hope that our community can stay largely be grouped with the nearby Latinx communities and the current AD 30, as we have many shared interests and characteristics. However, since our community is spread over such a large area and we need to be divided, we support keeping those in the Clovis area nearby folks who are also in current AD 23. And we believe this is critical to help our nurture and foster healthier, stronger, and happier neighborhoods when people in our community are involved in the process of shaping the environment and community. They care to share ideas, become invested and committed in helping find solutions and creating strategies to address the.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 040, and then up next will be 037. 040, I'll be promoting you now. 040, your speaker order number is number 21. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good evening. Yes, the area I would like to discuss is Southwest Fresno, Martin Luther King, and Church in Walnut. I am lifting my community because I want my community, Southwest Fresno, to have all the good, including representation that others in the community have. Southwest Fresno is where I live. It's where I was raised. I know there's a lot of good in my community. I care because my parents live there. I live there. I have family members that are still there. So that is why I care. We have people coming into our community secretly, grabbing land and building on it, not telling us anything disruptive our way of life. We are losing our community to politicians who are supposed to have our best interests, but make decisions based on other people who do not stay in our community and making other decisions for our community. So now it's time for me to step up to the plate and be here for my community. Our way of life is at stake. The streets we walk down, the landmark community center and parks now and in the future. That's what redistricting is about. We don't want people making decisions for our community without knowing who is in the community, our needs, and our truth. Our community has a landmark community center and park that has been at the forefront of our culture in more ways than one. The community center and park are part of the history, our identity, and it still is right to this day. But those shouldn't be the only resources in our community. Jobs, schools, and hospitals are important too. We don't have those because we have had people who fought for us in our interests. It is very important that we protect our community to keep it together. If not, we will have people coming in that don't have our best interests. Once the community goes, so does everything else in the community. Who knows the community better than the ones that has been living there all their life? That is why it is important that we come here today to tell you that we care about what's happened to our community and redistricting. Most of all, people who do not live in our community should not be making decisions about our community. Southwest Fresno deserve our own representation. In closing, I would like to thank this commission for allowing me to enlighten you about the community, and I hope you will be considerate and understanding of my community. And I'd like to thank you all, and I'd like for all y'all to have a blessed day.
Great, caller. Could I ask you to hold for one moment? You mentioned 3 streets, and I just want to make sure that we have those 3 streets, and I think we maybe need an additional boundary. So could you please just first repeat those 3 streets that you mentioned?
I should have said it should have been California and Martin Luther King and Church and Walnut. It should have been them 4.
Great. Give me just one moment. You said California and Martin Luther King.
Yes, Martin Luther King and Church.
Great. And then
And Church and Walnut.
Church and Walnut.
Yeah.
Make sure. Do the mappers have what we need? I believe so. Is that so? Do you consider is what you just stated? Is that what you consider Southwest Fresno?
Yes, that's Southwest Fresno.
Great. Okay. Thank you for confirming.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 037, and then up next after that will be 038. 037, I'll be promoting you now. (037), your speaker order number is number 22, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'll be discussing Central Valley generally, so I'm not sure that we'll be able to zoom into a particular area, but for reference, I'll be mentioning Stockton, Bakersfield, Fresno, as well as some areas in Kings County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Kristen Nimmers. I'm calling on behalf of the Black Census and Redistricting Hub. I'm calling to summarize and uplift the communities of interest identified by our coalition members and the community members that they engaged in non-community feedback sessions with 74 Central Valley residents. Our coalition partners, the Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce, the Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce, and the Central Valley Urban Institute, spent months engaging members of the community on where they're located and what issues are most prevalent for this region. During each community session, we were able to discuss the importance of redistricting, as well as the impact it will eventually have on future generations of Black people in the Central Valley. Similar to the commission's process, we were able to shed light on how they could engage in this process and the significant opportunity we have to ensure equitable district lines are drawn. During these community sessions, the following communities across the Central Valley were identified as important to Black communities: Bakersfield, particularly Southeast Bakersfield; Fresno, particularly West Fresno, Southwest Fresno, and the Old Fig area; Stockton, especially South Stockton; Madera, Tulare, Hanford, and Lemoore. In our outreach, some of the trends we found were that there's been a lot of construction of physical boundaries breaking up Black communities in the Central Valley, that there's inconsistent public transit to our neighborhoods, racially restrictive housing, as well as a lack of development and employment opportunities in rural and low-income neighborhoods, all of which has negatively impacted our community's ability to advance economically. The Black community in these areas feel unheard, continuing a vicious cycle of mistrust of government and a lack of connection to the local and statewide political process. Black communities throughout the Central Valley also often feel that agricultural needs are prioritized over the needs of urban communities, and they hope for representation in districts that recognize the distinction between the needs of those communities and the importance of providing for both. Everyone should have access to safe and secure housing, but families in West Fresno, Southeast Bakersfield, Madera, Tulare, Hanford have all raised the need for affordable housing and the lack of access to home ownership for most Black residents. It's important that communities have updated infrastructure and public transportation, but the Black community in Kern County is still fighting for local and state funding to fix the roads in their neighborhoods and get additional bus stops in rural areas. We have seen during this pandemic the importance of access to healthcare and medical services, but in rural communities like Tulare, families struggle with accessing hospitals as well as other basic amenities like banking and grocery stores. And these are just a handful of the examples lifted in our community sessions, which have also been uplifted in the submissions through the COI tool. Protecting our communities in the Central Valley will not only give us an opportunity to elect people that empathize with and understand these issues, but will also create opportunities to increase trust in government and our democratic process as our communities see themselves represented in the state and federal legislatures. To ensure inclusivity, equity, and fair representation of all communities in California, it's vital that these communities are kept together. Your choices during the line drawing process have the power to ensure Black communities in the Central Valley are heard and will have representation. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Caller, can you please hold? I'm hoping you can elaborate for us on the Southwest areas and the West Fig area.
Mm-hmm.
Could you be more specific about the boundaries of what you consider the Southwest Fresno area first?
Yes, give me 1 second. We also submitted through the COI tool, if that's helpful at all.
Yes, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
I'm trying to pull up our maps. And which area were you trying to get clarification
on? Southwest Fresno and
yes.
the Old Fig area, sorry.
Okay, so Southwest Fresno, there's South, I think it's Chatu Fresno Ave, it's CHATEAU. And then there's a railroad that goes right above that. It's below Belmont Ave. And then on the other side, there's West Central Ave, as well as and some of the community kind of goes into those a little bit below West Central Ave to West American Ave as well. It's kind of like a rectangle shape that goes down and back up. And then
maybe thank you for that for Southwest Fresno. And then do you maybe mean the Old Fig Garden?
Yes, near that area. So Over there, there's West Shaw Ave, and then maybe the top boundary would be East Sierra Ave.
Great. Yep, I think we have what we need. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
(038), your hand was raised and you were next. You lowered it. If that was not intentional, if you could please raise it at this time, you will still be next. You will still be next then. And then after that will be 045. And I would like to invite those that have joined with appointments, 042, 039, 034, 032, 030, 026 and 011. If you wish to give comment, please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen, as you have an appointment during this session and you will have priority. Right now we will have 038. I will be promoting you. (038), your speaker order number will be number 23. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
The area of interest is Kern Congressional District 23, Kern County, including California City, Ridgecrest, and Edwards Air Force Base. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Marcus Fair. I'm a resident of California City in Kern County for the past 20 years. The two military bases, Edwards Air Force Base and China Lake, share a unique mission and research, development, and test, requiring a unique knowledge and understanding of that mission in order to provide proper representation at a federal level. The funding infrastructure and encroachment issues are unique and often very different requirements from the more than usual military training and operational missions. It is vitally important that Edwards Air Force Base, California City, remain within Kern County, state and federal district lines. Changing representation now could lead to unintended delays and consequences during the next 5 years as we seek to build our communities. Thank you for the opportunity to provide public input from your commission. We appreciate the difficult task you have before you. Please consider keeping our cities currently in the district and not redrawing those lines. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 045, and then up next will be 033. 045, I will be promoting you now. (045), your speaker order number is number 24. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. The area I would like to discuss is Kern County, particularly Ridgecrest area, California City, that whole area between Ridgecrest and Bakersfield, basically the outline of Congressional District 23. I'll go ahead and begin. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Norman Alexander. I'm currently the president of the Ridgecrest Area Association of Realtors and also the board chair of Alta One Federal Credit Union. I would like to thank you for your time and dedication on this important commission that we are working on. You've heard a lot about Ridgecrest and East Kern County and this remote area out in the desert. I could talk about the housing difference between our areas and major urban areas. Our median home price is about lower than 300,000, which is usually about a down payment in the urban areas. You've heard and just heard about the shared national defense and economic situation with China Lake, Edwards, and even the Mojave Spaceport, how that is very important and a common interest. How Ridgecrest itself depends on and works with East Kern County and West Kern County work together, particularly when we had our earthquakes, how Bakersfield and Ridgecrest business leaders and city leaders work to address some employment challenges. An interesting point in Ridgecrest, even during COVID, our unemployment rate went from below 5% to just not even above 6%. So we were able to help out other portions of the county with employment. So we've talked about that. The other challenges we have and other things that pull us together is our environmental things, water issues, along with obviously earthquakes, and the protected species that we have. But the bottom line is the main common interest that we have is our remote living and rural living. That in itself really defines us. We have a particular set of, we enjoy this type of living. That's why we're out here. We're out in the middle of the desert. We don't have big malls. We don't have large restaurants. But we do enjoy the work that we have out here and the environment that we live in. And the current drawing of the district lines, personal district lines, we would like to keep in place because it has really worked for our community. Combining us with large metropolitan areas would not address our issues. Thank you again for your support and your time on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to 033, and then up next will be 041. And I would again like to invite those with appointments during this session. 042, 039, 034, 032, 030, 026, and 011 to please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the comment queue line. 033, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be number 25. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mappers know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. You are still on mute. Can you unmute in the lower left corner of your screen?
Oh my goodness.
There you are.
A year and a half of technology and I'm still this way. You can zoom back into that same area we were in last time. That map location was pretty good. Northern LA, Palmdale, Lancaster, Kern County, all the way up to Ridgecrest there. Yes, that's a pretty good representation. So great. I'm talking today as an aerospace engineer in this area and the importance of keeping the district together. I've been an aerospace engineer for over 30 years, research on the research side, working at Edwards Air Force Base. And as the first speaker said and the last speaker said, the aerospace industry is important to California, not only because of the economic inputs, but also the talent we bring to the area in California and the pride in California that results in the work that's done in our area here. You know, the first sonic boom was at Edwards Air Force Base. The space shuttles were built down in Palmdale there in the and first flown and tested at Edwards Air Force Base. We attracted diverse students across the country. Early career people come to California in this unique area to work on the coolest technology in the country. Guaranteed, come up to Edwards Air Force Base and look at this cool technology that we're doing here. NASA Armstrong is going to be flying electric aircraft and other climate-friendly aircraft technologies. We're doing sonic boom mitigation in that area. And the 2508 airspace is so unique in this area. It's so important to keep this district together in terms of keeping the talent and everything else in the interest of being able to fly 350 days per year in this unique area. Entrepreneurs such as Scale Composites in Mojave, who built the Virgin Galactic that just flew Richard Branch into space, was built here in this district area. We fly Earth Science and other missions are flown from the Palmdale and the NASA Armstrong Flight Research Center. The latest technology is flown at Edwards and developed and also tested unique naval air weapon systems tested out at China Lake. And this cannot be done if we do not have all the common interest of all the research and technology in this district, in this area from Palmdale all the way up to Ridgecrest and doing that. It's important to keep these areas in one district, support our unique aerospace industry, continue to inspire the new generation of engineers and scientists that are coming in, and it's a diverse group of people that we bring here, unique talent. And, you know, I just, as 30 years as a research engineer, it's been an incredible journey, and I appreciate the time and effort, you guys, and the problems that you're gonna have as you're doing the redistricting. But it's important to keep us together for California, not only for California, but for the people that we can bring to California to work in this area. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time that you have given us to talk.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to 041. And again, I'd like to invite those with appointments during this session to use the raise your hand option at the bottom of your screen. 042, 039, 034, 033, 032, 030, and 026. We will be dealing with that in a second. 041, I will be promoting you now. (041), your speaker order number will be number 26. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
West Fresno, Olive, south of Olive to North Avenue.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
My name is Debbie Darden. I am the chair for Golden West Side Planning Committee. I am also the chair for BAPAC, Black American Political Association of California, also an advocate and longtime resident of West Fresno 93706. And in regards to the redistricting, this particular community here is enriched with family, very diversified. There has been an enormous amount of African-American families that were born and raised here. Many of them are now living throughout the city of Fresno. A good portion would be further out west in the central area, which is past Marks, between Marks and Cornelius, going all the way to Shaw Avenue. And one of the things over here in West Fresno, although we have a connection to several warehousing and manufacturing throughout this community, what we lack are the resources and dollars to which tax dollars would bring to this community. We have structure, buildings, development that have taken place in this area, Amazon being a prime example, Ulta being another example. But because of the incentives that the city brings in, the West Fresno community lose out on those dollars because the exchange is that they bring in the jobs. I can guarantee you that there's probably not 5% of the workers at Amazon or Ulta reside here in West Fresno. Many of the housing have been taken out of West Fresno. And many of the medium income homeowners, especially African Americans, who have achieved education and gone into the workforce, have been forced to leave West Fresno, although they would have loved to have stayed and reside due to the fact that we have lack of housing. And yet the city of Fresno is one of the ones where we have an enormous housing crisis at this time. And so that is something that we need to have a connection with. The downtown Fresno has since incorporated being part of South Fresno. However, there's still a division there. People have a tendency to grasp on to the West Fresno as the disadvantaged community that will allow them to apply for grants that provide millions of dollars to come inside to be able to do these amenities and build in this community. However, those dollars are spent in other areas and not West Fresno. So there's a division in monies and connection for development for this community, and that has been done for a number of decades for our community.
Caller?
Thank you. Yes.
Can I ask you to confirm the eastern boundaries of your community?
The east, going east, we would go as far as, I would take it as far as to Golden State.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
All right. Sorry, can I also just pause, and can I ask our Spanish interpreter to give instructions in Spanish in case those with appointments are speaking Spanish?
Sure.
Yes, would that be the language line instructions?
Or
I'm sorry, the vocal call?
I believe if you could please ask those in the queue with appointments to raise their hand to show that they are ready to give comment, please.
Para las personas que están en la fila, si por favor pueden alzar la mano para indicar que gustan dar su comentario público, tendrían que oprimir el asterisco y el número 9, o sea, la estrellita y el número 9 para indicar que desean hablar. Cuando sea su turno para hablar, entonces ustedes van a escuchar un mensaje que diga que la anfitriona gusta que hable, y luego en ese entonces tendrán que oprimir el asterisco y el 6 para poder hablar.
Thank you so much, Margarita. At this time, I am just going to be doing the audio option for each person in the queue that does have an appointment and give them the opportunity to join. This is for appointment. This is for appointment 026. Appointment 026. Would you wish to give comment at this time?
Hi, yes.
Perfect. Your speaker order number will be number 27, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Awesome, thank you. For City of Fresno in the northwest, West Fresno area, and particularly going south as McKinley, and then going west as Garfield, so that'll be a street over from Gratland, but Gratland is okay for now. And then going north as west as Gratland. And then let's see where else. Yep. And then 99 being that boundary, kind of that triangle we'll make, and then also going from west being the 99 boundary, north being Herndon, going all the way to Marks, and then south would be about Ashland, I would say. And that's kind of like a rough map, not exactly, but I will get started. My name is Kamaljit Kaur. I work for Jakarta Movement, a community-based organization, and I've been a resident of City of Fresno for 29 years, and I live in that residence that I just kind of mapped out. I am also here representing AAPI and AMEMSA Redistricting Collaborative, and today I'll be talking about Northwest neighborhoods. I would also like to include the Sunnyside neighborhood today. There are large clumps there as well. Jagada Movement has been an active organization within the community for 20 years, organizing and empowering the Punjabi Sikh community and other marginalized communities to advance their health, education, and economic and social and political power. Punjabi is an ethnic background, where Sikh is an ethno-religious background. Punjabis have been living in California for over 120 years. The community is tied by its Punjabi language and its culture, as well as its Sikh faith. We have many families moving into the area of Fresno because of the two local gurdwaras, the Sikh Institute of Fresno in that northwest Fresno area, and Nanak-Sar Gurdwara Cornelia, which is on the Cornelia Avenue. These gurdwaras are not only a place of worship, but also where our elderly come to gather and community events are held. Another reason large migration here is happening because, or has happened, it's because there's a school district, Central Unified School District in this region, which has the highest population of Punjabi Sikh students, and it continues to only grow. Another reason a lot of families tend to stay in this region is due to employment, one being in the transportation industry. Since this area is so close to a major highway, it makes it easier for families to be able to go to work and come back and be close to a major highway, the Highway 99. Another reason also is that many families tend to carpool together. So they've kind of created these community networks where they're carpooling together to their blue collar jobs at places such as Foster Farms and Zaki Farm. There are also many language limited folks who live in this area and are in need of language access services. Many of our families are feeling alienated and are codependent on their children because of lack of resources and language barriers.
15 seconds.
Along with the Sikh community, there's a growing Muslim community and Hmong community, whom all have shared priorities such as quality education, employment, community, language, and immigrant rights. We hope the community will, or the commission will keep the communities together. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. And right now we will have 030, and then up next will be 034. 030, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be number 28. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss. The floor is yours.
Great, thank you. Fresno County, please. Good evening. My name is June Lim, and I am the Demographic Research Project Director at Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Los Angeles. I am joining you today to present data supporting the community of interest testimony you've heard from our partners representing the AAPI and AMEMSA Redistricting Collaborative. These include COIs from the Punjabi Sikh, Muslim, and Hmong communities in Fresno County. The Asian American Pacific Islander and AMEMSA community is a large and fast-growing part of Fresno County. The latest census data show that while the population in Fresno County grew by 10% between 2010 and 2020, the AAPI communities in the county grew faster by 27% and 18% respectively, and now are over 12% of the county. In specific cities and census designated places within the county, the AAPI and AMEMSA communities have grown even faster. The Asian American community has grown by more than 40% in Clovis and Sunnyside, and the AAPI and AMEMSA communities now make up more than 15% of Clovis, Sunnyside, and the city of Fresno. 21% of Fresno County is immigrant. Nearly half of the AAPI and AMEMSA community in Fresno is foreign-born. Over 1/3 of AAPI and AMEMSA communities in Fresno County is limited English proficient, meaning they speak English less than very well. Asian Americans are most likely of any racial group in Fresno County to be LEP. Over 40% of Hmong and Asian Indian communities, which include the Sikh communities, speak English less than very well. The rate is disproportionately higher among older adults. 95% of Hmong elders and 100% of PI elders in the city of Fresno speak English less than very well. The per capita income for Asian Americans in Fresno County is less than 2/3 of the per capita income for whites. And Hmong Americans are among the poorest in the region, with a per capita income under 10,000. There are regional differences as well. While slightly more than 34% of Asian Americans in Clovis are low income, more than 55% of Asian Americans in the city of Fresno are low income, and over 31% live in poverty. In closing, the AAPI and AMEMSA Redistricting Collaborative asks the Commission to respect the integrity of the communities of interest presented today for the communities I've mentioned. I will submit to the Commission data maps and shape files of these communities of interest with my written testimony. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Right now we will go to 034, and then up next after that will be 032. 034, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 29, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Unique ID 034, if you could please follow the prompt to unmute at this time. Unique ID 034. I believe they dropped off. All right, on to the next. At this time, we will be going to 032. Your speaker order number will be number 30, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, the area of interest is current Congressional District 23, Kern County, Ridgecrest, and including North China Lake.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Bernie Mondragon, and I am a 25-plus year resident of the city of Ridgecrest, a Mexican-American small business owner. I am currently serving as a city planning commissioner. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I am calling today in regards to the community of interest area, which is all of Kern County, including Ridgecrest, North China Lake, Inyo Kern, and Indian Wells Valley. I request that the city of Ridgecrest and our valley remain with the county and district lines as it has been since 2011. Ridgecrest is a remote and rural desert community and is next to North China Lake, which accounts for an approximate 86% of our local economy. With that, China Lake accounts for a significant portion of our local economy and has a unique mission along with Edwards Air Force Base. The two military bases share the common mission of aerospace defense, research, development, testing, and evaluation, which require unique knowledge and understanding from our representatives in order to serve our community. In Ridgecrest, we have weathered two disasters because of the relationships that have already been established. From the 2019 earthquake to the pandemic, our county has supported our rural communities. In July 2019, the two major earthquakes showed the strength of our county and the critical importance of maintaining our 23rd district and county lines. Words fail to express the impact the small businesses in Ridgecrest and the base at China Lake experienced following the earthquakes because of the fast-acting network our valley currently knows. COVID has been difficult on all of us, but in Kern, our small businesses benefited from county-directed PPP grants. Our community, our base, and our small businesses are stronger because of our county, state, and federal interconnections. If we were to be absorbed into our neighboring districts, we would certainly lose our voice and connection. Kern County as a whole, and Ridgecrest in particular, has very little in common with LA and San Bernardino County, which have large urban centers. Representatives serving those areas are likely to be disconnected at best from the needs of our area, and at worst, inclined to support competing interests. As a resident, a small business owner, I know we are well represented through the relationships that have been forged within our county and district. And so I request that we maintain the 23rd District and Kern County lines to support our rural communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And 034 came back to join us. I will be doing the audio only option at this time. 034. Your speaker order number is 29. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss. The floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Kimberly McCoy, Project Director for Fresno Building Healthy Communities, and I will be speaking on Central Valley. When the CRC conducts redistricting, it allows the politicians to choose their constituents, whether the other way around. Redistricting should encourage community cohesion rather than division. Done poorly, redistricting often divides communities of interest, making it difficult for them to find representatives to champion their causes and advocate for them. African Americans have also doubled in some communities in the Central Valley, like Fresno and Kings County. It can also make it difficult for legislators to serve their constituents, since it may be difficult for them to travel easily throughout the district or never see the legislator at all in high poverty census tracts, especially majority Black census tracts in the Central Valley, in communities like Pixie, Atwater, Fairmead, and Chowchilla. Unfair redistricting creates safe districts, which result in uncontested or uncompetitive elections, leading to reduced voter interest and turnout. Poorly contested assembly and Senate seats, and the Central Valley has had low voter turnout. We must do better to meet the needs of African American families and communities like Southwest Fresno, or we'll continue to see the disproportionate, jarring impacts on Black families related to poor health and outcomes and income inequality. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will go to 039. 039, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute in the lower left corner of your screen. Your speaker order number will be number 31. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. (039), you are unmuted. Can you hear me? 039, you may want to check your audio settings next to the microphone. Check your speaker. And
I have 008.
There you are. Hi.
Okay. It's a different number that I received. Okay.
Oh, I apologize.
My name is Venancio Gaona, and would you please display the map of Fresno County? And I will address West Fresno County, South Fresno County, and the south side of the city of Fresno. Please. I will identify these three portions of the county as a community of interest that need responsive representation. To begin with, the definition of the geography, West Fresno County is composed of small rural Latino majority cities west of Highway 41 and Highway 99 and west of the city of Fresno. In South Fresno County are small rural Latino majority cities east of Highway 99, south of Highway 180, and southeast of the city of Fresno. The city of Fresno is divided north and south along Shaw Avenue, the tale of two cities, as some people refer to it. True South Fresno is bounded by major streets: Shields Avenue to the north, Peach Avenue to the east, Jensen Avenue to the south, and Highway 99 to the west. As per census data, a large population of people of color, especially Latinos, reside in these areas. Fresno County is a Latino majority county, well over 50%. A majority of Latinos, Asians, and African Americans live in south side of the city of Fresno. The small rural cities in West and South Fresno County are well over 60%. Socioeconomic issues and policy needs affect the well-being of all of those living in the rural areas and in the south side city of Fresno. There is a need for effective representation. These rural residents of the Appalachia of Fresno County suffer from isolation and lack of access to healthcare services and hospitals. The availability of a physician, eye doctor, dentist, and ambulatory services is paramount. Poverty is pronounced here due to agricultural related jobs available with low paying wages. The quality and quantity of potable water is lacking in all the rural towns and unincorporated communities. Either there's a shortage of water or it's contaminated. Environmentally, there are these three areas face higher rates of air pollution and with it, higher rates of illnesses. Keep these three resilient communities of interest together in legislative and congressional districts to acquire positive, effective representation. Equal justice calls for making them whole. Thank you. We appreciate the job that you're doing in the commission.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to 042. Your speaker order number will be number 32, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. The area that I'd like to discuss is the area that Venancio just elaborated on, and that is the southeast area of Fresno County, specifically the rural towns of Sanger, Reedley, Selma, Parlier, and Del Rey. I'm sorry, I can't see the map right now, so.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
I'm not sure if you'd like me to specify streets, but I can't see the map in front of me to do that. I'm not sure if it's up or not. But again, the towns I'm talking about are in southeast Fresno County. So good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Dr. Eve Castellanos. I grew up and I live in Sanger, California, which is a rural community of approximately 25,000 in the Central Valley. It's about 13 miles southeast of Fresno in the county of Fresno. The COI that I'm advocating to request for is these small towns that are in southeast Fresno County, small rural towns. Sanger has experienced a steady growth in population since about 2000, when the population was about 18,000. Since then, our population has increased to about 25,000. And while we don't have any major thoroughfares or freeways that run directly through our city, one of the major highways is Highway 180, and that's located to the north of us, which leads to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, about 2 miles outside of Sanger. The expansion and the growth in population that these rural towns have experienced over the past couple of decades has been facilitated by the development of new housing communities, as well as the creation of new P12 schools that have been located close to in the city or close to our city boundaries. And while these smaller communities are experiencing rapid growth, this growth has resulted in further demonstrating inequities and marginalization resulting from the income gap that exist in these communities, including those similar to those experienced by the populations and residents as described previously in Southwest Fresno. Related to that, the equities in our community includes lack of access to public transportation, higher education, physical and mental healthcare providers, and other factors that contribute to advancing upward social mobility. These disparities are unique and different from those experienced in other surrounding cities, such as Clovis and Fresno, that has already previously been alluded to, which are more urban. Reedley, Sanger, Selma, Parlier, and Del Rey are all located in the southeast areas of Fresno, again, southeast of Highway 180. And these disparities have contributed to already existing economic and challenges and disproportionate income disparities. For example, the unemployment rate in California is currently 8.6%. The unemployment rate in Sanger is 10.8%.
30 seconds.
These cities primarily are resided by Latinx families, many of whom are low income. So I'm asking for your consideration in helping advance more direct representation for areas of Fresno County. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And at this time, I'd like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad to raise their hand indicating they wish to give comment. We will be going to caller 0311, and then up next after that will be caller 3745. Caller 0311, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 0311, your speaker order number will be number 33, if you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'd like to speak about the 10th Congressional District, Stanislaus County. Would encourage my name is Michael, sorry, to keep Stanislaus County within the 10th Congressional District. We'd like to include the areas of Lodi instead of Tracy. I'd also like to mention that I would like to not have Stanislaus County included into Merced County, as many of the students for CSU go to the CSU Stanislaus has we have a satellite off campus in San Joaquin, and so a lot of the students there go to the same college. Also, that Modesto is the Modesto area, and Modesto B is also part of the Sacramento immediate area, and so we believe that the needs of our community would be best served with keeping Stanislaus County as one congressional district, and then including the areas of Lodi and the rural areas of San Joaquin, as we are more of an agriculture with the wine industry in Modesto with Gallo and parts of Lodi. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will go to caller 3745, and then up next after that will be caller 6096. Caller 3745, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 3745, your speaker order number will be number 34. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, I'll be talking about the Central Valley.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Ariana Alias, and I grew up in the east side of Bakersfield, but currently I am a sophomore at UC Merced. I just want to give my input today because I understand it is a very important process that we only get once a decade. UC Merced is the newest UC campus, and it's grown a lot over the last decade. We are a very unique community of interest. UC Merced community is closely tied to the city of Merced and the Central Valley. We are a Valley University and should be kept in a district with the Valley. The campus is not in the city of Merced. It is kind of on the outskirts of town by Yosemite Lake, but we should be kept together with Merced. A lot of the students live in the city, and also a lot of the students commute from other parts of the valley to campus. Some of my friends commute from Modesto and Fresno to attend UC Merced. Merced and UC Merced should not be in districts with any of the foothill and mountain communities to the east of the valley. For example, Turlock in Stanislaus County is connected to the foothills in the state senate, and we do not want that for Merced or the UC. So we ask, please keep the valley communities paired with each other when making new districts and not with the foothills or mountains. The valley has experienced a lot of growth over the last decade, according to the census data. So the commission might even have split some of our valley communities and big cities when making new districts. It's okay to split some of the communities and cities if necessary, but whatever you do, we ask to keep our valley cities along Highway 99 away from districts with the foothills and mountains. Thank you.
Caller, you started to get to it at the end there, but just wanted to see if you could be a bit more specific about which communities you talk about when you say don't separate the valley communities.
More of the cities are along that lie along the Highway 99.
Okay. Which ones do you consider okay to split along that 99 corridor?
I would say they're.
It's also okay to send a follow-up email. We just, it'd be great to have that specificity. So if you need some time, we would love to have that over email.
Okay, yeah, the email I'll do, sorry.
Great, thank you. We're asking you to make tough choices. So appreciate you taking the time to consider it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Thank you so much. Right now we will go to caller 6096. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 6096, your speaker order number will be number 35. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to be speaking about Fresno County. My name is Samuel Molina, born and raised here in Fresno, and have a home here in Fresno. I've worked throughout the San Joaquin Valley on civic engagement issues within the Latino community for the last 7 years. My input today is sharing with the Commission the connectivity among Latinos throughout the South San Joaquin Valley, from South Side City of Fresno to East Side City of Bakersfield and all of the small rural communities in between. As the Commission, just so the Commission understands, South City of Fresno is everything south of Shaw Avenue, East Side City of Bakersfield is east of Highway 99, and the west side are the small rural Latino towns from Fresno County to Kern between Highway 99 and I-5. The Commission must do all that it can to recognize the Latino majorities across the region and empower these Latino communities when drawing new districts. Latinos in Southside Fresno and Eastside Bakersfield share cultural roots, socioeconomics, and face similar policy challenges along with Latinos in rural communities. Latinos are the vast majority of population in these areas, with the West Side communities claiming nearly 90% Latino populations, such as Mendota, Huron, Avenal, Corcoran, McFarland, and Wasco. Many are immigrant families with Mexican heritage and have a farm worker background or work in ag-related jobs. Many families are low income but hardworking and face challenges around home ownership, building intergenerational wealth, and being able to access a college education. South Fresno, East Bakersfield, and small rural towns often lack green space, have older neighborhoods with significant infrastructure needs, and face challenges around water and air pollution. There are many amazing nonprofit organizations and local elected officials working together on these issues, but there is much work that needs to be done. These Latino majority communities must have their voices heard and their needs met, which can only happen when they are empowered at the ballot box. The Commission has the power to make sure that happens with representative districts. Again, Latinos are clearly the majority in the South San Joaquin Valley, from South Side City of Fresno to East Side Bakersfield and all the small rural towns in between. It's very important today for the Commission to recognize and respect that by drawing Latino majority districts, they'll be doing right by the Latino community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to caller with the last four, 9723. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 9723, your speaker order number is number 36. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I'd like to discuss. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I've been waiting like 2 hours. I'd like to discuss to the commission to remove the city of Tracy from the 10th district because to replace Tracy, to encourage the commission and to add the city of Lodi in the rural community of the east side of San Joaquin County. Linden, Lockport, Farmington, etc. We have more in common. But I thank you so much for taking my call. Are you there?
Yes, thank you
Hello?
so much.
Thank you so much.
Right now, we will be going to caller 4700. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 4700, your speaker order number is number 37. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I'd like to speak about Fresno County, but specifically the city of Fresno.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sat Sri Akal, Mehrabani ji. My name is Nandeep Singh, and I call in some ways in two capacities. Both am I the executive director of the Jakarta movement, but I also serve as a school board trustee for the West Fresno region, specifically Central Unified. Most importantly, for the purpose of this, I'm a resident of Fresno, California, and I'm calling in today to provide a little bit of input on the 99 corridor and West Fresno neighborhoods, and to provide an introduction for to further kind of share about the work of the AAPI and AMEMSA state redistricting collaboratives. Over the past few months, the Jakarta movement has worked as a regional partner with the AAPI and AMEMSA state redistricting collaborative in the San Joaquin Valley, Sacramento Valley, and the Bay Area. The testimony that my colleagues and I have been preparing and sharing with you throughout the day is a reflection of our coalition's engagement with our communities, collecting feedback from multiple stakeholders regarding COIs across West Fresno. This past summer, our state collaborative held 4 community workshops for communities in the Central Valley, reaching 10 different community-based organizations and over 20 community members and staff. Across these workshops, we mapped a variety of COIs that capture the diversity of the AAPI and the AMEMSA community in the Central Valley, especially Fresno, while providing education on the ways to engage with the redistricting process. Outside these meetings, members have also engaged in direct outreach to their respective communities, gathering insight from religious leaders, business owners, students, and families. We hope our collaboratives' work helps the Commission better understand the diverse AAPI and AMEMSA communities in the Central Valley, especially the Fresno area. With the most recent data released from the 2020 census, we now know Asian Americans make up more than 11% of Fresno County residents, making this population one of the largest and fastest growing groups in the region. The 99 corridor skirting both sides of the 99 is home to one of the fastest growing Punjabi-speaking communities in the country. Various industries, especially that of transport and the trucking business, common languages, backgrounds, and even difficulties unite Punjabi-speaking communities throughout the region. The implications of a large, concentrated, racialized minority has many huge impacts, including environmental issues related to health disparities, exacerbated by the poor air quality straddling the 99, lack of language access due to a large, limited English proficient Asian community, which is the case for most Punjabi sects, and lack of access to parks and other recreational activities, especially for our senior citizens. This region has also seen an uptick with regards to hate-related violence, especially against elderly sick men. The core of the region I'm talking about straddles the 99 corridor from Herndon and Grantland to McKinley Boulevard. Despite Punjabis being well represented in all counties across the Central Valley, their political voices have been stifled via splitting. Today, I'm urging the Commission to consider keeping the 99 West Fresno corridor and adjacent neighborhoods whole. It's important that we are drawn together. Thank you so much for hearing me today and the rest of the AAPI and amongst the State Redistricting Collaborative. I hope you give them your time, attention, and strong consideration. Thank you.
Caller, could you give us your boundaries for West Fresno?
Absolutely. So basically, Commissioner, more often than not, people draw the 99 as the dividing line. And what I'm actually suggesting is there's an adjacent region that actually straddles both the east and west. And so the region I'm actually talking about on the northern border comes from the Herndon-Grantland area, in the south to about McKinley Avenue, but both east and west about a mile and a half on both sides of the 99. So whether that's grouped with the east or with the west, my only suggestion is that area should be kept whole, where more often than not, people use the 99 as the dividing line, but whether it be from air quality, whether it be about the types of occupations, or whether it even be the languages spoken, both sides of the 99 draw very much as our COI.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate all of your hard work.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, we're a bit over time. We are going to take another 15-minute break. And when we return at 6:30 sharp, we will move into general public input, public comment.
Welcome back to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission Community of Interest Input Meeting. I'm Commissioner Chair Turner, joining you again. And for anyone who has joined us recently, want you to know that we are offering language lines for Spanish language speakers to listen to the meeting in their native language, and a separate line for those who wish to provide public comment or public input. Could I please have our interpreter provide our language line number and the information to provide public input? Can our Spanish interpreter please read the site translation of full call-in instructions?
Yes, Chair, this is Margarita, Spanish interpreter. I will go ahead and read the full call-in instructions in Spanish. Para los hispanohablantes que deseen llamar y escuchar la reunión en español, el número es el 888-566-1377 para poder escuchar la reunión en español, e ingresen el número de identificación de la reunión, que es el 389-1010. De nuevo, el número de teléfono es el 888-566-1377 y por favor ingresen el número de identificación de la reunión, que es el 389-1010 para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar la reunión en español. Si usted desea proveer comentario público, el número de teléfono que debe de marcar es el 877-853-5247. De nuevo, el número de teléfono para proveer su comentario público es el 877-853-5247. Usted va a necesitar ingresar el número 889-1395-3415. Usted va a necesitar marcar este nuevo número de teléfono para poder dar su comentario público. Si usted va a necesitar un intérprete para poder dar su comentario público, se le tendrá uno disponible para usted cuando llame a ese número de teléfono. Si usted está llamando para poder dar su comentario, por favor no cuelgue, si no perderá su lugar en la fila. Gracias. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And I'd like to thank my co-chair for the previous session that we just had. This session is specifically dedicated to those that did not have an appointment. However, if you had an appointment and were unable to call in during your time block, we encourage you to call in now. As a reminder, even though we are focusing on the specific counties, Californians from anywhere in the state are welcome to provide input. We'll continue to take public input at this time and also invite public comment at this time. The phone line for public input and public comment will close at 7 p.m. We will get to all the callers who were in the queue at that time, to include going beyond 7 p.m. if needed. So at this time, we're going to pass over to Katie, our comment moderator.
Thank you, Chair. In order to maximize transparency and public participation in our process, the Commissioners will be taking community of interest input and general public comment for items not on the agenda by phone. To call in, dial the telephone number provided on the live stream feed. It is 877-853-5247. When prompted to enter the meeting ID number provided on the live stream feed, it is 889-1395-3415 for this meeting. When prompted to enter a participant ID, simply press the pound key. Once you have dialed in, you will be placed in a queue. To indicate you wish to comment, please press star 9. This will raise your hand for the moderator. When it is your turn to speak, you will hear a message that says the host would like you to talk and to press star 6 to speak. If you would like to give your name, please state and spell it for the record. You are not required to provide your name to give public comment. Please make sure to mute your computer or live stream audio to prevent any feedback or distortion during your call. Once you are waiting in the queue, be alert for when it is your turn to speak, and again, please turn down the live stream volume. At this time, we will go to caller 9563, which I believe is unique ID 043. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 9563, if you'll please press star 6 to unmute at this time. And one last time, caller 9563, you'll please press star 6 at this time. And there may be some connectivity issues. We will come right back to them. Right now we will go to caller 8443. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 8443, your speaker order number will be number 38. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, can you focus on the map on Stanislaus County, specifically the city of Turlock?
We sure can. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Elsa Vázquez Ballín. I am a member of the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, also known as CHIRLA, and I'm a resident of Turlock. Today, I will be talking about the diverse community of Stanislaus County, and more specifically about the students of color at Stan State and those that transfer from Modesto Junior College. I have been a resident of this community for the past 6 years, and in my time here, I've experienced being part of a neighborhood that is a melting pot. There are many races and ethnicities. We are a mix of minorities, Black, Latinx, Sikh, Punjab, Assyrian, and many others. We also have homeless people from not just minorities, but also white ethnicities. The main languages spoken are as diverse as the ethnic groups here. For Stan State students, the majority of us are renters who usually are a part of the community during the time in which we are finishing our degrees. We do have people in my community that are homeowners, but they reside on the east side of Turlock. The financial economic status of people in my neighborhood varies. Sometimes renters, even in the areas of Central Valley, which are considered affordable, ask for 2 to 3 times the monthly rent. The largest employer is Stan State. Most employees, such as professors and administrators, live in the Stanislaus County, but not necessarily in the city of Turlock. The jobs available to local residents are big chain companies like Costco, Walmart, McDonald's, other fast food places, Foster Farms, and big local company called the Gallo Winery. For Stansted active registered students, the services available are the health center in which you can get COVID tested, vaccinated, and get urgent primary care. The health center also has a pharmacy on site, which has low-cost medicines. Also, we have the Warrior Food Pantry, which was established because we have a high population of homeless students. Due to the demand from the students in need, it flourished from a place where you can get 10 items a week into a place where students, even with dietary restrictions, could access food and sanitary products. For the first time, students and undocumented students, the Warrior Cross Cultural Center offers services that such as immigration legal services, career counseling, social justice workshops. Although we have all these services available for students, specifically the Warrior Cross Cultural Center, they are not widely advertised to students in need, such as myself. I didn't even find out that I can receive this support until my third year because oftentimes these resources are underfunded and understaffed to reach all the students in need. My community is located between the 99 freeway and Main Street, would include Gear Road, Monte Vista Avenue, and Golden State Boulevard. My community is similar to the following cities like Modesto, Newman, Ceres, Keys, Salida, Ripon, Houston. My community is different from the following cities, Hillmar, Oakdale, and Riverbank. It is important that my community sticks together because we want access to higher education for students of color who are facing lack of access to healthcare, housing, food insecurity, and we're especially hit hard by COVID. By keeping my community together in one district, we can collectively advocate to representatives at the state and federal level to serve students in need. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will go to caller 3359. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 3359, your speaker order number will be number 39. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, we can continue focusing on the city of Turlock.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Gloria, and I'm the Central Valley organizer for the California Dream Network, the youth branch for the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, known as CHIRLA. I'm a resident of Turlock, and before becoming staff of CHIRLA, I have been organizing in the area for about a year and a half on issues such as immigration, healthcare, and resources for students at Stanislaus State. Today, I'm going to illustrate the challenges and issues within the diverse community of Stanislaus County. Within Turlock, you will see a high number of students, factory workers, farm workers, and small business owners in the area. Due to these diverse populations, Turlock comprises student housing apartments, apartment complexes, homeowners, and senior retirement homes. My neighbors and I are different races or intensities. Our community is made of Latino, Black, Assyrian, Portuguese, Caucasian, and other ethnic groups. The primary languages spoken besides English are Spanish, Punjabi, Portuguese, and Assyrian. During my time in Stanislaus County, I've organized and spoken with undocumented youth alongside their families on resources needed such as access to healthcare, COVID relief, resources to succeed in obtaining a higher education at Stanislaus State, mental health resources, homeless shelters, and food pantries, which are limited in Turlock. Also being able to provide the correct personal protective equipment known as PPE to the factory workers and for our farm workers to be able to breathe during the California fires, protect themselves from harmful pesticides, and of course, combat COVID-19. With this in mind, my community is physically similar to the following cities: Modesto, Newman, Ceres, Keys, Houston, Salida, and Ripon, but different to Hillmar, Oakdale, and Riverbank. It is important that my community sticks together because we want access to healthcare, COVID relief, mental health services, food pantries, homeless shelters, personal protective equipment, and higher education for our undocumented students. By keeping the following neighborhoods of Ceres, Houston, Keys, Newman, Salida, Ripon, and Modesto together in one district, we can collectively advocate to our representatives at the state and federal level to serve the community in need. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will go to caller 9052. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. If you will please press *6 one more time. I apologize, that was my fault. Your speaker order, I'm so sorry. Your speaker order number will be number 39. If you will please make note of that for future reference. Oh, wait, no, I apologize. Your speaker order number will be number 40. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Gina Zanti, and I'm a resident of the city of Clovis, discussing North Fresno and Clovis. I really appreciate the opportunity to share my opinions and input with you this evening on how the community that I live in should be drawn in this redistricting process. I was born and raised in North Fresno and I've lived here for almost 25 years. And I am now a homeowner in Clovis, just recently bought a home here. I've always considered the North Fresno and Clovis areas as one community and deeply related to and valued and invested into the unique characteristics that make our community such a great place to live. To be more specific, the definition of North Fresno is between State Route 99 to the west and Will Avenue to the east, and north of Shaw Avenue. Included in this community is also the entire city of Clovis. Our communities have nationally recognized schools. They share transportation corridors, shopping, entertainment, restaurants, cultural landmarks, parks, utilities, and a myriad of other services. Our communities have generally been a part of the same legislative and congressional districts for decades, and given the growth in both North Fresno and Clovis, I believe it further solidifies the case that they should make up the bulk of their own legislative districts. My family and I consider ourselves part of the North Fresno and Clovis community. In fact, all members of my family and my husband's family, including our parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, 6 living grandparents, and cousins, live in both North Fresno and Clovis. Our friends and their families share similar experiences, which further demonstrates how this area is one unique community. It's been a wonderful place to grow up, raise a family, and make our California dream a reality. Central Fresno and South Fresno share much more in common than they do with North Fresno and Clovis. They share the same school districts, cultural traditions and cultural centers, and economies. We believe that because of this, they should also be their own legislative districts. Central and Southern Fresno have much more in common with many of the ag-based and rural communities in other parts of Fresno County. So I'd like to strongly urge you to take that into consideration and our community's history, our similarities, and the things that make North Fresno and Clovis unlike anywhere else in our county or region. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to caller 7727. I would like to invite those in the queue to press star 9 if you wish to raise your hand. Caller 7727, your speaker order number will be number 41. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Alondra Williams Vasquez. I am lifting up the southwest region of Fresno because I'm a Fresno native, and this is the area of town I grew up in, played in, walked in, went to school in, and it's also the area in which my mother still resides for 43 years and counting. It is for these reasons that I'm very passionate about Southwest Fresno and how it is redistricted. This area of town has historically been neglected, underserved, and disinvested. The aforementioned issues have resulted in the area having a tremendous amount of blight, food deserts, and under-resourced neighborhoods. As you well know, redistricting directly impacts funding to communities for education, economic development, infrastructure, and other resources that make communities safe and livable. My values are also, and my passions are also reflected for this area of town in the work that I do as the Fresno Regional Manager for Community Vision, Capital, and Consulting. Our organization's mission is to promote economic justice, alleviate poverty, and increase financial resilience and stability for community-based nonprofits and enterprises. Through flexible financial products and sound advice, we create opportunities to help make socially responsible investments and revitalize Northern and Central California communities. We envision financially strong and culturally vibrant communities where each person has access to decent jobs, homes, healthcare, education, and economic opportunities. And we also work in partnership with individuals and organizations who share our vision for sustainable communities and social and economic justice, which is why the topic of redistricting in Fresno is so vitally important to our work. I hope it's also vitally important to your work as you contemplate shifting boundaries in Southwest Fresno in the community. I hope that you'll have me, my family, my mother, and other community members that live in the area in mind. And thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you today. Again, my name is Alondra Williams Vasquez. That is ALO, N as in Nancy, D as in dog, RA. Williams, WILLIAMS, Vasquez, VASQUEZ, and I'm a Fresno native. Thank you so much, and you have a great evening.
Ms. Williams Vasquez, before you hang up, thank you so much for your testimony. Would you please define the boundaries of Southwest Fresno? How are you thinking of that?
How I'm thinking of Southwest Fresno is everything that is encompassed from, what is that, north of 99 Fresno, the Highway 99, between 99 Jensen, all the way down to Olive. And I'm trying to think of the other street that goes down that kind of like box that in. And I think the
West
street
Belmont?
is,
No.
yes.
California.
Yes, West Belmont. I'm sorry if my directions were a little bit off.
I'm just calling out streets, trying to get you close.
Yes,
okay, perfect.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Up next, we will have caller 2806, unique ID 044. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 2806. Your speaker order number will be number 42. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to see discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is William Cruz, and I want to give an input today on two locations: the city of Fresno in Fresno County and the city of Bakersfield in Kern County. I live in Fresno, and I have very close friends and family in Bakersfield. My partner's family also lives there. And I work throughout the San Joaquin Valley as a Spanish interpreter for local governments and different agencies. When the commission is creating new districts, it will be necessary to divide some cities and counties in the valley in order to respect communities of interest, especially Latinos, African Americans, and also Asian communities. In Fresno, for example, Shaw Avenue serves as a dividing line in the city, and North Fresno is very closely aligned with the city of Clovis to the east. North Fresno has new neighborhoods. People have higher incomes. Clovis Unified Schools actually serve a large portion of Fresno east of Highway 41. South of Shaw Avenue, neighborhoods like Tower District, Southeast Fresno, and the West Side are older and more diverse, heavily Latino and immigrant with historic African American neighborhoods and Asian neighborhoods. A lot of these neighborhoods have issues with bad air quality from the freeways and a lack of park space. When drawing districts, this commission should keep South Fresno with rural Fresno County, which has small towns that are majority Latino and working class like South Fresno. Down in Bakersfield is a similar story. West Bakersfield is newer, more affluent neighborhoods with amenities like high-end shopping centers, nice restaurants, and a lot of park space. East Bakersfield is much more working class, has many immigrant Latino families, and a historic African-American neighborhood. East Bakersfield generally is east of Highway 99, including the neighborhoods around Bakersfield College, East High School, Mercado Latino on Edison Highway, and the neighborhoods on south of Highway 58, like Cottonwood, Rexland Acres, and Greenfield. Just like in Fresno, these neighborhoods deal with a lack of sidewalks in older neighborhoods, better quality, and a lack of park space. East Bakersfield is closely aligned with communities like Delano, Wasco, and Arvin. South Fresno and East Bakersfield face a lot of similar issues, shared socioeconomics and demographics. it will be really difficult for these communities to organize and get their fair share of resources if they are drowned out by louder voices in more affluent areas that don't share the same interests and struggles. Again, the Commission, in order to respect our communities, it will be necessary to split some of our cities and counties so that we are heard in Sacramento and DC. Thank you. This is my comment.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will go to caller 3204. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 3204, if you wish to give comment at this time, please press *6 to unmute. And one last time, caller 3204, if you wish to give comment, please press *6. Caller 3204, your speaker order number will be number 42, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. Or 43. Sorry, the spreadsheet. 43, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Okay, great. I would like to speak to North Fresno and the Clovis area. My name is Amy Fuentes, and I appreciate the opportunity to give my opinions and preferences on how the community that I have grown up in and currently live in should be drawn through the redistricting process. So as a resident of North Fresno, specifically right by Woodward Park, I have always related to, valued, and invested into unique characteristics that make our community a great place to live. To be specific, North Fresno is defined as the area between California Highway 99 to the west and Willow Avenue to the east and north of Shaw Avenue. Included in this community is all of Clovis. I grew up in Northwest Fresno and currently live in North Fresno. These communities on this side and around Clovis, we have fantastic schools that I now have 2 daughters that go to, which shares all of the same transportation corridors, a lot of times the same shopping, restaurants, and style of neighborhoods. So, our communities historically have generally been part of the same legislative and congressional districts for several decades. And I believe it further solidifies the case that they should make up the bulk of their very own district. My family and I, consider ourselves very, very lucky to live in this part of the valley, and just want to make sure that we continue to grow our communities as they should. So thank you again for your time today and the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. And I'd also like to remind, just give a final announcement that the phone lines will be closing at 7 p.m. So please get into the queue so we can listen to your input before adjourning for the day. Thank you. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much, Chair. Right now, we'll go to caller 7644. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. And then up next after that will be caller 9563. I see your hand. Caller 7644, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 7644, your speaker order number will be number 44. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Eric Payne. I'm the Executive Director of the Central Valley Urban Institute. We have provided commentary and feedback to this body at previous meetings. If the mapper would like to go to Tulare County and Kings County, we would like to ensure that those 2 communities stay together because there is a significant African American population in those communities as a COI. We feel that their ideologies are much different than Kern County. We recognize that California City, which has a 39% African American population, in California City, we feel as though with the residents that we've engaged and spoken with, and many of which have provided public testimony to this body, that their ideologies much more align with LA County, more specifically with the communities of Palmdale and Lancaster. And then shifting gears, moving up to Fresno County, the communities of West Fresno as a COI where is a historical Black community, specifically, the 99 freeway is the dividing, I would say, is the dividing line for the neighborhood, and it would go from north to south. It would be North Avenue to the south, and to the north, it would be like Fresno Street to the north. But we would describe that as a minority coalition district. There's when you go from the city sphere of Fresno, from North Avenue all the way to Herndon, with 99 being the dividing factor, we would describe that as a minority coalition district. There is significant Sikh and Punjabi population, API population in that community. And then a significant amount of African American families. But more specifically, we would describe the Tulare County, Kings County communities as crossover districts. Yes, and we would describe California City as an influence district. And that will conclude my comments. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Payne, hold on one moment. Just checking with our mappers to see if we got east and west of what we needed for Fresno.
Yes. Oh, and then also the communities of Chowchilla, Pixley, and Madera. We would like to see them stay together as well, along with Atwater.
Okay. In your describing Fresno, when you gave us north, south, east, west, I was trying to ensure that we had the correct borders. You mentioned Herndon.
Yes, it would be the COI for African Americans would be north to south would be North Avenue all the way to Fresno Street, and the divider to the east would be the 99 highway. But because of the we feel as though that it would be a minority coalition district if you were to include Northeast Fresno, which is the Central Unified School District community, which has a significant API population.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Also wanting to know that, let everyone know that the public input phone line and webinar is now locked. And so thank you. We will finish and complete those that are in queue at this time, Katie.
Will do, Chair. Caller 9563, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute this time. We will try again. There you are. Caller 9563.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
Been a long 4 hours here. But my name is...
One moment.
It's all right. My name is...
Just real quick, let me just let you know what your speaker order number is going to be. It'll be...
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to find where you're at. I apologize.
All right. I'm ready.
Will
I'm
be
ready.
number
I'm on the line
45.
right now.
Your speaker order number 45. If you let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Sure. Mayor Ray Leon, City of Huron in Fresno County. The areas of the west side of Fresno County, all the way down towards Bakersfield, Kern County area. But first and foremost, I just want to share, the characteristics of my city, which are similar to many in Fresno County. Another city is going down all the way through to Kern County. Huron has over 98% Latinos, and Huron's the brownest city in the country, I'd like to say. But there's other cities that are very similar, over 90% Latino, and very farm worker cities. Huron was one of the 4 poorest cities a couple of years back, during the same time that the county of Fresno had the highest ag revenue of the 4 poorest cities in the state of California. I think that's important to note, just in terms of what's going on. And I think it's important to make sure that all these communities that share the same struggles in environmental, economic, climate justice, as well as education equity and health justice, stick together. In my community, there's over 13 languages spoken, over 9 of which are indigenous Mesoamerican languages, all the way from Nahuatl to a couple of different Mayan languages, of course, Mixteco, Zapoteco, and other Oaxaqueño languages, and Purépecha, very similar to other communities in Fresno County, the 4 that I mentioned, of which are Huron, San Joaquin, Mendota, and the one that isn't on the east side, but is very much like on the west side, but is very much like these communities on the west side where we're at, is Parlier, with a large Purépecha community, indigenous community from Michoacán. I also am the CEO or the executive director and founder of the LEAP Institute, LEAP standing for Latino Equity, Advocacy, and Policy. And we focus on environmental and climate justice and economic justice. And we work with low-income farm worker communities throughout the region and other agricultural regions in the state. So I urge the commission, when drawing the lines, to respect the vast Latino majority population in the South Valley and in other parts of the valley for that matter, not just between Bakersfield and Fresno. In Fresno County, we're over 50% the Latinos, and at least 50% in many other counties in the San Joaquin Valley. So as best you can, please create as many Latino majority districts or Latino safe districts in the South Valley, because the numbers are there. We are the majority, and what we see is that when that we need the fair representation that understands our issues, and that seems to most of the time only happen when we have our own representatives that share the agricultural background as farm workers and the struggle within to make that happen. By the Latino South Valley, I mean, of course, western Fresno County and the southern half of the city of Fresno, down to northwestern Kern County and the eastern half of Bakersfield, along with all the small Latino communities doing their way up I-5 and Highway 99. And some of these cities and towns, we are more than a simple majority, as was mentioned, and I mentioned some of those cities already. But I'd like to concur with the statements from Mr. Venancio Gaona.
Mayor Ray, Mayor Leon, you are amazing, going so fast. A couple of things we need to clarify. Were you trying to include Kings? And maybe you can give some more detail on what's your Eastern Fresno? How are you considering that? Or you can send it all to us in an email to make sure we have the proper boundaries.
I could send it to you guys in an email, and along with the rest of my statement, if that's all right.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. You guys have a good one. Adios.
All right. Adios.
Thank you so much. Right now, we have caller 7770. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller with the last 4 7770. If you will please press start. There you are. Your speaker order number will be
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your speaker order number will be number 46. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Tammy Tyler, and I represent California City, which is west of Hacienda Boulevard in Kern County. And I would like to start off by saying that Tehachapi, Edwards, Ridgecrest, Kern River Valley, otherwise known as Lake Isabella, they do not represent us. This being our first time speaking and never being represented, we have collected a bunch of surveys and that speak and say that we represent the high desert. But we are underrepresented in the local offices in education and law enforcement. We do represent the community of interest in California City, which is about 70% of color. Our community is of all ages, backgrounds, and we are not represented. We would like to see leaders who represent our Black and Latino communities so that we do not have to use external involvement with the Attorney General due to our local offices ignoring our complaints. All we want is equality, equitable education, equality policing for our community, for which, as I heard earlier, it is exactly 39% of Blacks that represent, and also 37% of the enrolled Black students here are failing in the Mojave Unified School District. If you add those two numbers together, they do not add up, and it does show and speak that we are underrepresented. We need equitable maps and opportunities so we don't have to travel so far. In our district, we want to see Cal City, Mojave, Rosamond, Lancaster, and Palmdale, that also represents 7% of community of color again. We do not want anything to do with Edwards, Ridgecrest, Tehachapi, and parts of Hacienda, East Hacienda, in Cal City, which those areas do not seek equality for our community of color. I would like to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I really understand and hope that you guys will really reconsider the graphics of our demographics here in California City, how we have been for decades underrepresented. We would like to see mapped with other communities that do represent us so we can have a voice to speak, a stage to stand on, and movement to improve our education system. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, caller.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 7712. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 7712, your speaker order number will be number 47. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Commissioners. For the mapper, I'm calling regarding the community of interest, which includes the San Joaquin County communities of Ocampo, Collierville, Woodbridge, Lodi, Lockford, Peters, Linden, Waterloo, Ripon, and Escalon, as well as those communities of Stanislaus County east of the San Joaquin River. These communities share common values and interests that should be represented by shared elected officials. These interests include a crucial history of working together to improve lives in the valley, with projects like the McHenry Avenue Bridge and Tri-Dam project, which were completed through cooperation between entities on both sides of the Stanislaus River. These communities also share a strong interdependence in which the city of Modesto serves as the political, cultural, and economic nucleus for the many people, communities, and industries that call them home. Grapes grown in Lodi travel Highway 99 to Bronco and E&J Gallo's wineries in Modesto and Ceres. Almonds from Ripon and Escalon are processed at Blue Diamond Growers' Salida facility, and residents of the small rural communities in eastern San Joaquin County drive to Modesto to shop and eat. This community of interest should not share legislative nor congressional districts with the western San Joaquin County communities of Lathrop, Tracy, Mountain House, and North Stockton. These communities are very different from eastern San Joaquin and Stanislaus County in several important ways. As is evident to anyone who travels on Interstate 5, 205, or 580, these communities house colossal commercial enterprises such as Tesla, In-N-Out, Wayfair, Amazon, Costco, and Safeway distribution hubs that cater to clientele in the greater Bay Area. They've also embraced massive suburban developments like Tracy Hills and Ellis, Mountain House, River Islands, and Weston Ranch that cater to Bay Area expatriates, pricing out many longtime Central Valley residents and greatly diminishing the influence of the agricultural sector, creating a culture that is decidedly different from that of Eastern San Joaquin or Stanislaus County. These communities also share close governmental ties with the Bay Area. Tracy residents can choose to buy their power from East Bay Community Energy. Stockton's Deepwater Port transports raw and finished goods through the San Francisco Bay, and all of these communities share the congestion struggles of the East Bay, and they're working together to address them through a multi-billion-dollar commuter rail project. These similarities and differences mentioned are by no means comprehensive, but I hope they help this commission to recognize the importance of keeping Eastern San Joaquin and Stanislaus counties together and separate from Western San Joaquin County. In 2010, these communities in Stanislaus and Eastern San Joaquin County were split between Congressional Districts 9 and 10, and were also split in the state Senate map. I really appreciate your time and your service to the state of California. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we have caller 6042. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller with the last four 6042. If you will please press *6 to unmute at this time. Caller with the last four 6042. If you will please press *6 to unmute at this time.
Hello.
Hi, caller 6042. Your speaker order number will be number 48. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, hi, my name is Carol Watkins, and I would like to speak about California City, which is west of Hacienda Boulevard in Kern County, and Tehachapi, Edwards, Ridgecrest, and Kern River Valley. Lake Isabella do not represent us. We represent a community of interest in California City that is 70% a community of color. Our community is of all ages and backgrounds, and we are not represented. We would like to see leaders that represent African Americans and not use external involvement with the Attorney General's office due to the local office ignoring our complaints. We also would like equality and equitable education and equality policing for our community, for which again is 39% African American and 37% of the African Americans are failing in the Mojave Unified School District. We need equitable maps and opportunities so we don't have to travel so far. In our district, we want to see Cal City, Mojave, Rosemont, Lancaster, and Palmdale, for which represents our large 70% community of color. Again, we don't want anything to do with Edwards, Ridgecrest, Tehachapi, and parts of East Hacienda in Cal City, which those areas do not speak equitably for our community of color. Thank you, Commissioner, for the opportunity.
You're welcome, and thank you for calling in. Katie, do we have one last caller in the queue?
We do.
Have they raised their hand?
They have not.
Can you ask the Spanish interpreter, please, or Marguerite, perhaps, if you would please give the instructions for raising hands in Spanish?
I could just allow them to talk.
Oh, that's okay.
Caller 9643, if you wish to give comment at this time, please press *6.
Marguerite?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want me to interpret that?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Okay. La llamada con los últimos 49643. Si gusta dar su comentario público, por favor, oprima el asterisco y el número 6 o la estrellita y el 6 para alzar la mano, indicando que gusta hablar.
Caller 9643, if you wish to give comment this evening, please press *6. You are the last caller in the queue. If you do not wish to give comment, we will be referring to the chair. I'm assuming they're just here to listen, Chair.
Marguerite, ask them if they're just here to listen.
Para la llamada con los últimos 4 números 9643, usted, si desea hablar, oprima el asterisco y el 6, o nada más gusta escuchar la reunión.
Okay. All right, Katie, Marguerite, I think we've done our due justice, trying to make sure we're not ending too soon. So with that, I'd like to thank you for joining our Community of Interest Input meeting today. We have one additional Community of Interest Input meeting this week. It's going to take place on Friday, August 27th at 3 p.m. There we will be focusing on Monterey, San Benito, San Luis Obispo, Santa Cruz, Ventura, and the surrounding areas. This means we will have a Spanish listening line and Spanish interpreters available. Next week, we have 3 Community of Interest Input meetings. The first one will take place on Monday, August 30th at 4 p.m., focusing on Riverside, San Bernardino counties and their surrounding areas. And we'll have Spanish listening line and Spanish interpreters available. Now, the second meeting is on September 1st at 4 p.m., focusing on Orange counties and their surrounding areas. We will have Spanish, Korean, and Vietnamese listening lines and interpreters, a Spanish listening line, and a Spanish interpreter available. Registration for each meeting closes 2 calendar days before at 5 p.m. Our next commission business meeting will be on August 31st at 9:30 a.m. Callers at the Community of Interest meetings are not limited to the specifically mentioned counties. You can visit the meetings page at our website to see a list of additional upcoming Community of Interest Input meetings at www.wedrawthelinesca.org/meetings. And with that, thank you to my co-chair, Commissioner Vasquez, to our interpreters, to all of our AV folk, and all of the amazing commissioners. We will, for this evening, adjourn.